Oh man, so let's see. This week was pretty good. I went on vacation this week.
Nice.
I went down to Orlando. Did the Universal Studios thing. It was good. It was they have a ton of stuff in place for COVID. The kids were on spring break, so we had we took them down, and it was a couple day thing. The park capacity is down to 60%. They got people walking around, everybody's wearing a mask, hand sanitizer all over the place. It was good. And I'll be honest with you, like after COVID, once we get past this thing, I hope they keep the 60%. I liked not having people in my bubble all week. Like it was an enjoyable theme park experience, like it was good. It was good.
Yeah, not shoulder to shoulder.
Yeah, right. Nice. It was good. It was awesome. But yeah, so I actually didn't stream this week at all. I forgot to post. I'm such an amazing, awesome professional streamer. I forgot to tell everybody. So I had a couple people hit me up, which is kind of nice. A couple people were like, "Hey man, I didn't see you streaming. What's the word?" So that was kind of nice. It was like, oh well, at least somebody cares, right? Like, oh, good.
Yes. Exactly. Someone's missing.
Yeah, someone was like, hey, what's going on here? It was good. But no, it was a very good trip. It was very relaxing. Nice to get out. Our first trip since kind of everything happened. So yeah, it was fun. It was pretty nice. Good. What about you? How was your week?
It was good. We did a couple retro streams. We finally finished that wonky game, the Wily Wars, the Mega Man game on Sega Genesis.
Ugh.
So we tackled Mega Man 1 on Tuesday and hit 2 and 3 on Thursday. So that was a nice accomplishment there.
Isn't every game better on Nintendo? Like, let's just be for real. Maybe it's a subject for another week, but let's be honest.
Well, I mean, yeah, we're gonna have to eventually do the inevitable Nintendo versus Sega.
It's coming. It's
gonna have to happen.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah, but we had a couple casual streams there. It was good times. Unfortunately, I wasn't on vacation. I didn't get to go on a trip.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Eventually,
it's tough. It's tough being awesome all the time. I tell you. No, it was good. We needed to get out. It was nice. I highly recommend it. Of course, be safe and but it's like, man, it was nice. It was nice to get out. I guess we canceled a couple vacations last year, 2 or 3, and so now it was nice. It was a really good time.
Oh, very nice. You're going to Florida, Just a Game Nerd in July.
Nice. Excellent. What part of Florida? I live up in the northern part, so I don't do the South Florida too much. But yeah, I live up in the Panhandle, and so driving down south, it's only about a 6-hour drive for us. But yeah, that's very cool. Oh, Palm Beach, nice. It's so nice down there. It did rain a lot for us, but it kind of worked out because we were able to stay out of the rain, but then it kept temperatures down, so it was pretty comfortable. It was good. So good.
Very, very cool.
I did while I was down there, ran into a couple of old video game collector buddies, and they took me to some I shouldn't say I ran into them. I planned on going to see them while we were down there, and they took me to some retro game stores down in the Tampa, Orlando area. And I picked up some cool stuff. I got some good ones. Let's see. I got Bandit Kings of Ancient China, one of those Koi games, one of the real-time strategy. Yeah, the Koi games on never fun. Well, I shouldn't say never fun. Not so much fun. Stupid. They're kind of dumb expensive. Like nobody really likes them. But if you want to complete the set, Race America actually is a good game. That's a fun one. Cool game to try out. Not too bad. The Last Starfighter, which is one that I've been wanting to cross off for a while. Yeah, that's a great one. Love the movie, love the game. Let's see, Magmax. That was one I hadn't had. And that was a cheap one too, which I'm surprised. I'm running out of cheap ones to find. Best of the Best Karate. That was a cool one. And Super Cars, which is another cool. It's kind of a cool car game for.
I only know like 2 of those.
Yeah, and I'm saying Supercars is fun. If you can load up Supercars one day, it's a cool little driving game. It's not bad. Not bad at all.
Never seen Supercars.
It's kind of a rare one. Not too expensive, but kind of a rare one though. Uncommon.
Oh, thanks for the sub, Bad Wolf.
We had picked up a couple CDI games, which you never find CDI games. Of course, they're horrible.
So you have a CDI?
I do have a CDI. I found a CDI at a garage sale.
I am dead jealous.
I'm telling you, man.
I'm so jealous.
I was in my grandparents' neighborhood, and it was like garage sales. Like, oh, okay, sure, why not? And I go through, and there's nothing in there. It's typical your grandparents' house. And then I look in the audio rack, and there's a CDI, and I'm like, oh. There's a stack of games next to it. It's pure insanity. I was like, wow, $60. Had the CDI.
Wow.
All the hookups, a bunch of games with it. The remote, which is crazy.
Oh, okay, the remote, not the controller one.
Yeah. No, it's the remote control one with the little analog stick in it.
I got you. Okay, that's the one that I had experience with.
Yeah.
But then I've seen people who have the one that's like a gamepad.
Right.
And I've never seen that in person anyway.
The system is crazy. Battleship was one of the games I got with it, and it was very it's cool because it does like this FMV, like actual battleships firing off and stuff when you get hits. Cool. It's really neat. One game that came with it, it was it's an Aesop's Fable, so I shouldn't say it's a game, but it's kind of like an interactive story for kids, right? And it's How the Camel Got Its Hump, but it's read by Jack Nicholson. And it's yeah, it is pure insanity. And it is Jack Nicholson, like the Shining Jack Nicholson reading a kid's story. It's crazy.
I think I speak for everybody, and that needs to be a stream.
I absolutely
that needs to be a stream.
100%. We'll get that put up. It is good. Skeptic, what's going on, my man? Welcome. The game is crazy. It is very the story, him telling the story, he's like and then the camel, it's nuts. It's pure madness. But yeah 100%, we will hook up the CDI. We will play through Jack Nicholson and How the Camel Got His Hump, and it's great. It is maddening.
Oh, very nice.
But yeah, so I picked up Sargon Chess, Palm Springs Open. So little golf game maybe. Looks like it's got some FMV, and then the chess games are always fun, stuff like that. But yeah, I got a handful of them, a couple movies for it. Pickles, how's it going? Pretty good. Skeptic, not too bad. Talking about some pickups this week from my trip in Florida, my South Florida trip. Let's see. Yeah, 100%. You should try Supercars. It's a good one. If you can load it up on like the EverDrive, it's a good time.
Yeah. I agree. Yeah, just a game nerd. We will try that one stream.
Yeah.
I think we do some random NES games again.
Yeah. That is a good one. That's totally worth checking out.
Very cool.
Yeah, I think I got No One Lives Forever on PS2. I know nothing about it. It looked kind of cool. And then Largo Winch on PlayStation 1, which again, know absolutely nothing about it. They're probably truly horrible, but whatever.
That's
Anytime I could snipe a game for a good price, or if I'm not obviously working on the NES collection, so
right.
It's always nice. That's what I keep an eye out for. You try to catch them slipping. Try to find that amazing deal that no one saw coming, but yeah, not too many this time. Not too many.
Yeah. I'm on a dry spell for pickups.
Yeah.
So I gotta say, yeah, I haven't picked up any games, but man, I'm waiting to pull the trigger on a Neo Geo AES.
Oh yeah.
I am every week I'm getting closer and closer to just ordering one, because I gotta get one.
That's awesome.
I gotta get one.
That is cool, man. Like that'll be.
I would love to get one of the upright cabinets, but
yeah.
I lack the space.
Yeah. And I dabbled a little bit in the consoleizing the MVS, and that's neat, and it works pretty well. It's kind of funky though, because like some of the plugs and connections are on the front or back, and so it's kind of
right.
An AES would be awesome. That is a grail system for a lot of people. Skeptic,
Yeah,
that's
and
awesome, dude. That's good to hear, man. That's sweet.
oh, Battle picked up
Fucking wow.
Zelda: Link to the Past for $5
Oh,
at
that's
your second yard
freaking.
sale of the year.
Oh
Wow.
man, what a score, dude! That's awesome. I love scores like that. I love them.
Oh yeah, yeah. Just a gamer. You're right. It's like, yeah, time to build an edition. Time to build an
Yeah,
edition.
right. Yeah,
Got to build the arcade room.
Yeah, you need the arcade room. Everybody needs an arcade room. Skeptic, dude, that's awesome. I can't wait. Yeah, once you get your YouTube set up for sure, man. I'm excited. Skeptic's moved over to YouTube or is in the process of getting his YouTube set up. So yeah, no, very cool. Nice. Yeah, I'm excited to see it. That'll be fun. Yeah. I need to get better at YouTube. One of these days.
Oh, gotta get better at YouTube.
Yeah, gotta get better. Gotta get better. In fact, I want to. Hopefully, we'll host some of these on YouTube once we get a couple of them, maybe.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Who knows?
Yeah.
We'll see what happens.
So before we jump into our first topic, I still have to throw this out there. Call back to our last week. So I stand by Super Mario 64 in its form on the N64. Not good.
100%.
Not
agreed.
Good.
Agreed. Worst Mario game. Sorry.
Apparently, we are not alone because I had found out this week that Battle of Blah.
Blah.
We are not alone because I see there is a PC project, Super Mario 64 Plus, and they just put a new update out fixing a lot of the problems we have with it.
Yep.
Runs at 60 frames a second, has an analog controlled camera.
Yep.
You no longer get pulled out of the level every time you get a star.
Right. Right.
I mean, there was nothing more annoying than running through that game, grab a star, end up all the way back, have to start from scratch again to go find where the next star is.
Yeah. That was the worst. That was so bad.
But yeah, and they did a whole bunch of other, I guess, quality of life updates to it too. So I just gotta, it justifies and
I'm telling you,
backs us up on the fact that Mario 64 on the N64, not as good as it could have been.
Trash. Complete trash. Garbage. I'm sorry, but I'm not sorry. It was awful. And I think it's been highlighted, and I love the fact that people don't agree and they hate it. But I'm telling you, I think it's highlighted when people started playing it on the Switch with the re-release for the 35th anniversary, and it was like, oh my god, like it was really bad. And they'd switch over to Sunshine, they switch over to one of the other games, and I know. Bagoom, he gave me a lot of grief for it, but sorry.
Yep,
it's the truth.
And
truth hurts.
And later on, that's part of our console showdown. It's like I have a little bit to talk about with including Sunshine.
Yeah, for sure.
But yep. So I guess we'll move on to our current events. What's been going on in gaming
this week in gaming?
Yep,
that's kind of an interesting week, huh?
Yeah, I would say so. One of them I would say is a big win for the PlayStation gamers is the fact that Sony reversed the shutting down of the PS3 and the Vita online stores.
Yep, and that is crazy. The effect of that, and it's how awesome is it? I guarantee if social media didn't exist, I guarantee if people wouldn't have voiced how upset they were with that, it never would have happened. They'd have shut it off. I don't know if they go to sample groups or if they just make these decisions agnostically with like their group or team, but I don't think it wasn't a good decision.
Right.
And it's interesting too, like collectors and resellers in that market. PlayStation 3 games shot up the second they said that, dude. They went up by almost 50-60% on some games, and now it's crashing out again. So if you ran out and bought a bunch of PS3 games, I'm sorry. Hold on to them, hold, but just it's rough.
Yeah, you're right, Just a Gamer. PlayStation, at least now, they kill off the past too fast.
Yeah.
Because up to the PS3, I mean, the fact the PS3 played the last two generations at launch, was a phenomenal move.
Right.
And they kind of bailed on that mindset.
It was the smart thing to do, and unreal.
It's kind of funny to see that that's where Microsoft is right now with theirs. is that their current console plays all their software from well, not all, but a lot of their software from prior.
Well, a lot of the good titles that you would go back and play on your original Xbox, you can throw the original disc in, and it downloads a copy of it. It doesn't play it from the disc, but still, you play the game right there on your Xbox. Like that's awesome to me. Like that's so smart. And with the technology we have today, I don't understand how any company doesn't do that. You know, Nintendo is the same thing with all the SNES titles, that are, and the NES titles are on Switch, and it's like, I don't know, it's unreal.
Yeah. I mean, Sony does have their PlayStation Now service, so you have a curated list of games,
sure,
that switches out, but that's still not the same of actually being able to play the games you already own.
Right. Exactly. And that's the way it should be. If you own the game, you should be able to throw it into a console and play it. Like that's just smart. It's smart business, And I think the business of the video game industry is changing too. They're getting away from that. We talked a little bit about that last week. Is they're getting away from this concept that I have to sell you a $60 game to make money. If I don't sell you this $60 game, I'm not going to make any money off you. And that's not true. Like Fortnite has proved that that's not true, and it's like, so it's interesting, I hopefully their mindsets are changing a bit. And I think things like cross-platform play, retro play, being able to play the previous generation systems, stuff like that pushes it in the right direction. I hope they keep up with that for sure.
Yeah. And then I guess bridge us over to some Microsoft talk. This is the first year that PlayStation's exclusive MLB The Show is actually appearing on a console that's not made by Sony, which is nuts.
Interesting. Yeah, that is interesting.
That would be almost to the level of Microsoft saying, Halo, here, sure, Nintendo.
Right.
Go ahead and play a Halo game.
Yeah. MLB The Show was one I played a lot too. Like that was a good baseball game, and it was awesome. The cinematics and stuff they did in it was really good.
And the new one is nothing short of amazing.
Yeah,
every year they step it up every year.
That's awesome,
and it looks and plays great.
Right. I haven't played one since PlayStation 3. Probably was the last one. Yeah,
you're a few off.
Yeah, I'm a little behind. I didn't get a PlayStation 4 until probably about 6 months ago. I've always been an Xbox guy. Yeah, just and there'll be a little bit of that coming up, but like it wasn't that I was against it. It's just Xbox was what I went with. So I there's a lot of titles like I would love to go back and play. Obviously, I want to play Final Fantasy. The remake, the Final Fantasy VII remake. I want to play Spider-Man that came out. It was console exclusive. That was for PlayStation exclusive. That'd be another good one. But yeah, no, I thought myself, I was like, I'm gonna get a PlayStation 5. Like that'll be right. And yeah, haven't found one yet anyway. So it's a good thing it's not on the top of my list, right?
I know. It's like I lucked out with the PS5, and then you lucked out with your Series X.
Yeah. Ended up grabbing the Series X. Awesome. Yeah. So. Yeah, crazy though. Pretty nuts. That's crazy though. I did not think so. Is this trend? I mean, how is this going to will we ever see a God of War on Xbox? Will we?
Yeah, right.
Like, gosh, that would be so weird. That would be very strange to me.
Right. God of War on Xbox, Gears of War on PlayStation.
Yeah, right.
It would be so out there and foreign that it would feel like unnatural.
Yeah, it really would. I don't think that I don't know if they could do it, but I think that's another thing where cross-platform play, it's pushing us in a good direction, maybe gosh, and then one day, is there just one console that plays everything? Is there do they finally realize that maybe hardware, maybe we should just and then you know the PC people will be like, yeah, there already is one. It's called PC, and it's awesome. You know,
Right.
So it's
Right.
like, I don't know.
Master Race
Yeah,
represent.
that's right. That's right. That's right. You console players are beneath me. I laugh at your silliness, but
Yep.
yeah,
And
it's good.
and just a little note to say of that. I've been a PC gamer for years, but we wouldn't have a lot of the games that we get to play on PC if it was not for them coming out on consoles.
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
It feeds upwards.
Yeah,
I mean, yes,
100%.
there's PC exclusives, but yeah, some of these
Yeah.
big ticket games,
Yeah,
they're
for sure.
they're console oriented.
Ethan, what's up? Welcome in. Welcome to Friday. How you doing? Hopefully having an awesome day, awesome end of the week. I tell you, you know, it's like the PC is awesome, and I'm the same way. I PC game probably 80% of the time. But last week before we went on our trip, a game that I still haven't beaten yet is the Star Wars Fallen Jedi. I hadn't beaten it yet.
Okay.
I tell you, to sit down on my couch, throw the disc in, relax, just sit there and play was awesome. And console gaming lets you do that. You don't have to set up this window for your chat or this program for your TeamSpeak or this program to run this in the background. So you throw the disc in, you turn on, you play, you know, and it's like, that's nice sometimes. That's just, and what you lose in graphics and things like that. Yeah, I get it, but man, it is nice. It is nice to just have that just, I just want to play, you know, just want to play.
Plus with the graphics too, it's one of those, if you did not see the other side of how it could look,
for sure,
you would never have looked at it and said, oh, this looks terrible.
Absolutely. Yeah. You're right. 100%. For sure.
Oh yeah.
For sure.
Yep. So let's see. We have, well, with Microsoft news.
Yeah.
This one's kind of funny to me. So Microsoft finally makes free-to-play online games actually free. Because they no longer require you to pay for Xbox Live service.
Right.
Which is something that I can't believe they got away with as long as they did.
Yeah. It's completely insane that well, I don't have gold, so or ultimate, I guess now, you know, and it's like, yeah, that's funny. The services, and that's funny too. Like we'll probably get into that a little later too, but like PlayStation Network and things, how, you know, they used to have a free side to it, you know, and that was really cool. You know, that was kind of a benefit to it, but it wasn't a great network. It was kind of you know, it's like if you wanted to play with friends and have an enjoyable time or even be competitive, it was you couldn't be on it. So it's like,
right.
But then PC doesn't pay for, you know, network access, right? So you know,
and sometimes it shows.
Sure.
Sometimes you do have the problems with connectivity issues because there aren't dedicated systems. But
right. This is kind of a deep thing, a little bit on it. But how do you feel about subscription style games like WoW and stuff like that?
Yeah. See, previously I was all about it. Like I got into WoW and I would spend a good portion of every day playing WoW.
Right.
And so I had no problem paying that subscription. But since my gripe is it's a subscription for that month, not a subscription for how much time you play.
Right.
Today, like nowadays, I couldn't commit to WoW. I would be paying so much money and not putting in the hours that to really get out of it. I'm of the feeling that the pay-to-play services almost need to do like how cell phone services of old,
right?
Where those you paid by minutes, well, maybe it's hours. Like AOL.
Like AOL right. You get so many minutes a month or whatever. Yeah, right.
Exactly. Yeah. So like Warcraft, it's like have that fee and you get X amount of hours. After that,
right.
You pay for the next step.
You can have like tiers. Oh my goodness. Dude,
Blizzard's
probably listening. Blizzard's probably like,
I mean, I would be more apt to sign up had I known that if I can pay that. What is WoW up to now? $17 a month or something like that?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
So if I paid 17 and I got, I don't know, 60 hours
or
something like that, like I'd be lucky if I put 60 in now.
Yeah,
but to know that that time stayed, so that 60 hours I could spread over 2 months.
Right. Yeah, because so okay, I will say this. I am not a WoW player at all.
Mhm.
I had a buddy that I worked with for a while. He really wanted me to get into WoW because we were playing other games together, having a great time. And he was like, "Look, I'm gonna get you into WoW. So when this new season drops, I'm gonna buy you a month. We're gonna get you in. I'm gonna show you, how we go on raids, how we do this. You're gonna love it. It's gonna be awesome." I swear to you, Pixel, I fell asleep one night while we were playing. Like I just.
You're not alone. There are definitely times where the grinding.
It's like, yeah, the go kill 6 chickens and turn it in. I'm like, dude, if we do this for another 6 hours, I'm gonna burn my computer down. Like I can't do it. I'm like, but like when I watch people play WoW, I've got a work buddy now that plays, and he's in a guild and they go on raids and things like that where they're actually doing these big raids and stuff, and that's kind of cool. And I'm kind of like, okay, like I see that, but I'm like, dude.
There's so much to get up to that point, though.
Yeah,
that's the hard part.
And so I feel like when you take your game and you decide, okay, we're gonna make this a subscription service style, like the way they did, you are basically saying, I don't care about getting new people in. This is just for the people we already have. Like I don't think you're not going to convince me to start up the game and get through all that crap, all right? All the stuff that you have to get through before you're a decent level character where you can play and enjoy the game. And then pay month to month. Like I don't know, man. I don't like the subscription. I don't like it. I just don't. It's gross to me. And yeah, I'll tell you what, just a game nerd. Yeah, just like in-game purchases is the same way. So pay to win is awful. Yeah, right. I'm not paying $17 a month to go slaughter chickens. And hey, look at so in this month I made level 8. That's awesome. And oh, by the way, when I went back to town to sell my crap gear that nobody wants, I got killed by somebody that's like a level 99, and I'm like, bro, it's no, I can't do it. I couldn't do it.
Yeah, the PvP definitely puts some more stress on it.
Right. But it's like if Destiny, if you think about the style of game, Destiny 2 was basically a skin different WoW. It was the same type of, once you beat the game, it became this grind for loot, grind for gear. You went on raids, you went on. I enjoyed that game more than I enjoyed WoW. But why? Because they were the same style game. They looked a little different, played a little different, but at the end of the day, you're doing the same type of thing. Now, I will say Destiny 2 also did wear thin on me because, the grind. But
right,
it's like, I feel like there's a better opportunity to bring in new players, new fans, new anything if you don't do the subscription thing. The subscription stuff just I hate it.
So Fortnite, pretty much the same concept, just a game nerd. Fortnite's more action based, battle royale.
Battle royales are it's one 30-minute game, and actually it's probably too long, but one 30-minute block of gaming. It's totally different game to game to game. And everyone starts at the same point, right? So even if you're like a level 100, you still start with the same weapons, the same everything, the ground loot, it's,
you have to go scavenge.
So it levels the playing field for sure.
Fork knife. I like that infan. Play some fork knife.
Nice, Ethan. Nice. Yeah, I threw that up there just for you, buddy. I knew somebody would snag it. That's good. I like it. So if you're just joining us, we're the stuff we're talking about right now, we kind of got a little off, but it just like the kind of the concept of game companies creating these subscription services and having like free to play games that you can only play, like Microsoft is where we started, but you can only play them if you subscribe to their service, and that's not, I don't like it. Not a fan.
especially because when on other platforms they were absolutely free,
Right, right.
but they
Yeah, for
put them
sure.
behind their paywall.
Yep, 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. In-game purchases are definitely the way of the future. And that's kind of what we're talking about too. Is I don't have to sell you a $60 game anymore, because I know over the next year you're gonna spend triple that in skins and some look and some battle pass where you unlock things that other people don't get to unlock. Like that's how I'm gonna get you. You know, like that's how. So yeah, I that's definitely the trend, I think.
Hey Tyler, how's it going?
I think it'll be that way for a while too. I think, and I don't exactly hate that, because just about every single one of those games I don't give a dime to, and I get to play and have just as much fun as the next guy. But one thing that we find out with some things like Warzone, there's skins that they've sold that have actually adjusted the power of the weapon, and that's a foul. Like if I can go buy a $5 skin for an AR-15 and all of a sudden it does 10% more damage, like that's awful. Like that's really bad. And you'll never convince me that was an accident, like, because it goes viral. People start talking about, wow, this gun with this skin, I'm melting guys, this is great, and then everyone runs out and buys the skin, and then they're like, oh, we're sorry guys, we're sorry, I had to we'll fix it. Well, everybody's already spent their money. That's awful. But the pay to skin concept, I'm okay with it. I think you get a new,
keep it cosmetic.
Yeah, you get new players in because it's free. Usually they're not too taxing unless it's Warzone. But yeah, not too bad there. I don't mind it too much, but
yeah. And then I see you have the Microsoft, like just a game nerd mentioned earlier about cloud services.
Yeah, right. Because it's for sure. Because there's so many people out there that will not play digital games, and I'm one of them. I love my physical media, right? I love having the disc to put in, and there have been times. So the one game that I'll do that I used to do, not so much anymore. Well, no, pretty much. Is Call of Duty games. So when I play Call of Duty games every year, it's nice to just do the digital game, because there's not going to be a value to that game. There's not going to be, they're mass produced, they're everything. But gosh, there was one time I was playing with a friend. He had the physical media, he could play, but because the certain portion of Xbox services were down, I couldn't play with him. And that's right. That's messed up. Like dude, that's no good.
Yeah, when it prevents the game that you gave money for from running.
Right.
Yeah.
And you're like, okay, so am I gonna get? Do I get this? Do I get today's worth of the game back? Like, are you gonna, like what's happening here? And yeah, that's now we're moving to this point where, okay, so now instead of just physical media and digital media, now you have media that you don't even own. Right. You're just like borrowing it. You're just playing it. And how many times have we been halfway through a series on Netflix and then all of a sudden it's gone at the end of the month, and you're like, crap. Like
exactly. Prime example. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. And so now it's like, is that gonna happen with the games too? And they're like, oh dude, that's crazy.
And that's where, it is kind of starting to, you figure, with like Game Pass is a good example.
Sure.
Is they do delist games off of there.
Right. And so I guess the benefit of it for these publishers that are lower budget publishers, and or indie publishers, and it does give them an avenue to get their titles out there, to so that their talents as game developers can be discovered in the industry. It's almost like having a resume, like on Monster or something. It's like, hey, did you play that game? Yeah, I did the artwork for that. Oh wow, it was so good, right? So, but oh man, just I will say too, being able to play on the go is kind of cool. And not because, so I travel a lot for work, and there was a time I would pack up my Xbox and throw it in the bag and take it with me, and like I would I'd set up in the hotel and I'd play in the evenings, and it's like not having to do
Yeah.
that, being able to play on your phone or something. That's kind of cool.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Cool. But dude, I don't know if I don't know. I hate to see us like when the Xbox One came out and they were really pushing hard for all digital. I was not a fan. I don't think I ever will be, but we got to be going that way, right? I mean, let's be honest. Do you have physical media PC games?
Just like I could count on one hand.
Yeah,
As
right.
far as current era stuff, I can count it on one hand.
Yeah. And it's like, dude, everything is in Steam. Everything is in.
And to top it off, I have bought what otherwise look like physical media. Buy it. You open it up. It's the paper in the shape of the disc with the Steam code on it.
Right.
And it's like really? Like, so what if you were, I mean, infrastructures are getting better around the world as far as network and internet. But what if you happen to want to buy that game so you can play and you don't have good internet to download a 50 gig game?
And then you're stuck, and it's like, I think it's happening. Oscar, thank you so much. I really appreciate you coming in. Thank you for the raid. I appreciate it. The chatting is going great. Welcome. All the raiders coming in. So here on the top of the screen, that's me, the 24. Down on the bottom of the screen, that is Unbreakable Pixel. We're doing our Friday night chatting on all things gaming, all things fun and exciting. And a little bit of pop culture here and there, mixing it in. Hopefully your stream was awesome. It's kind of a different stream for us. It's our episode 2. And so yeah, it's been good. We're talking right now about the concept of being able to play games on the cloud. Microsoft's cloud gaming service is actually available on Apple now, which I think is funny too, by the way. But I think the lines of us versus them are going away quickly, but so you're talking about not owning the media anymore, and really not even owning it digitally. You're just sort of borrowing it to play it as long as it's available on the service. So kind of the pluses and minuses, the ups and downs of that. But yeah, welcome in. Thank you so much. Oh yeah, no problem. Thank you so much, Tavaria. Thank you for being here. But yeah, no. So we're kind of talking about that and how, I don't know, for me, physical media will always be first when it comes to my consoles, right? PC though, gosh, I don't know if I could find a physical media. I think I have an old copy of Myst back here somewhere, but I don't. Everything's on Steam now,
Yeah, I do. Yeah, the physical ones, like where I do have any, it's because they're retro. They're retro for the PC.
Yeah, and it's crazy.
And I'd say it's the cloud gaming and going that way with subscription base and stuff. It's kind of a shame because they're taking away your option to go physical.
Right.
But there are the other sides to doing cloud gaming. Like one of them I was mentioning earlier, we actually did a few times on stream. There are services that give you the ability to play things that you otherwise would not even have access to. There's a streaming service called AntStream.
Sure.
And we have played it on stream a couple times, and it is basically a Netflix for old arcade games / Commodore Amiga 60, Commodore 64, old PC games, and
awesome
stuff that you probably most people don't have, and a lot of people don't even have access to even find it to play. And they do that as a web service.
That's
a streaming
awesome.
service.
How does that play?
It plays good. It has good latency. Like it does not lag. But you do notice like how remember when we played Guns, Gore, and Cannoli a way back?
Right.
When stuff gets busy on screen, you sometimes get bitrate like dips to where you get a little bit of soft pixelation on stuff.
Sure.
But other than that, I mean, it's phenomenal. And right now, because they're so new to this, the game of doing this, it's actually free.
Oh, that's awesome.
It's absolutely free to download.
Wow.
They have a subscription plan that like will take, I think it takes ads away, which I couldn't even tell you if I've even seen an ad.
Hmm.
So maybe those aren't even in place yet. But
That's awesome. That's awesome.
It is pretty impressive that just a little app and it just runs.
That is pretty neat.
It is cool because that gives you the ability to play this obscure stuff and unattainable stuff.
Right.
Because not everybody can have like a Mortal Kombat arcade cabinet.
Yeah,
And play the actual arcade game.
Absolutely.
I mean, I know there's emulators, there's ROMs, there's ways to do it.
Yeah.
But you're doing a lot of, shall we say, extra work.
It really is. It is 100%
to get it to run right. Yep. Whereas this service goes, you hit play, recognizes your controller that's connected to your PC, and you just go.
Yeah. No, that's awesome. And let's be honest, you know, the legality of such things too does come into account. It's nice to have a service that is taking care of that for you. You know, you don't have to worry about, you know, breaking any of the laws and stuff. That's really good. That's good.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you have a legitimate method of playing these old games.
That's awesome. Oh, Tyler, that's great. Hey, thanks so much. I appreciate it. Yeah, Oscar, that's an amazing point. Yes. How does your PC have a disk drive on it?
Thanks for the bits, Tyler.
Yeah, Tyler, you're awesome.
I actually do. I have a Blu-ray drive in mine.
So funny story. So do I, because I'm old school. But dude, so many computers now don't even have a disk drive on them anymore. Right? They don't. They don't at all. And I'll be honest with you, I almost didn't even put one on my latest machine, but it was almost just out of old habit that I throw it on. Yeah, 3 PCs and 0 drives, but you're like everyone. Apple Bloom, you got Blu-ray on yours. Yeah, you're like everyone, dude. It's getting to that point where if you really needed one, you could get a USB one, so you can just plug it in and use it.
You're absolutely right.
But yeah, what? So Oscar, I'll ask you this, and Apple Bloom too. Apple Bloom said he does look at his or I should say he. I believe he. I might have spoke wrong.
They
spoke wrong. They
Apple
have their copy of Witcher 2 on the shelf to look at. I love having copies. I love having copies of games on the shelf. I think it's awesome. I think it's so great. But it's a she. I knew it. As soon as I said he, I was thinking Apple Bloom's not a he. Did you mess up? And then I'm like, no. You're probably right. And it was this conflict in my brain. But I what I meant to say was she, and I'm a dummy. So anyways, but you're right though. What's the last physical media PC game you've bought? Like everything, all my PC games are on Steam or Epic or Blizzard or one of the million launchers.
And that is actually physical media, not a not a false box just to say here's your digital code.
Right. That's true too. Yeah. GTA 5 got that on disc. That's not bad. That's pretty good. Heroes 3. Wow. GTA 5. No, GTA 5 I have digital. I have it on console, I think.
We have. Well, actually, this one we did on stream. We did this back for my streamiversary. Some Max Payne.
Oh yeah.
See, and I could kick myself now because classic gaming me was like, I don't need the boxes. I'll put them all in a CD wallet.
I did the same thing.
I would love to have the boxes. Man.
I did the same thing. I've got all the old Star Wars games, TIE Fighter, and all the they're all in a binder just like that. Oh yeah, check that out.
Some Seventh Guest.
That's awesome. These
are things that I think are prospects for a future. Here's Quake.
Nice. I think I've got Quake. I don't know where my CD binder
not to mention
is.
the
X-Files game. I've got that too. Oh,
yeah, all 7. Yep.
It was like 7 discs.
I want to play it on stream.
Yeah.
I think it would be so much fun to play.
That's awesome.
But there's a handful of others in there.
Me and the wife played that when it first came out. God, years ago. Man, that game's awesome. I've got it around here somewhere too. That's funny.
I just remember how like mind blowing it was because it's like an interactive movie. I enjoyed the heck out of it.
Right. It was good. It was good. Yeah. The game service with old games. Yeah. I wonder if some old Atari ST.
I know I want to say there's some Atari on there. For the most part, the Atari or the old home
These
computer game systems I've seen are all
these were
Commodore
for you.
based, like and the ZX Spectrum as well.
Right. I've got some old programming manuals for an Atari ST around here. My buddy that my rad junk that owns the game store, he got one in. Crazy. Elite 2 Frontier. Wow, that's awesome. That's awesome. I tell you, some of the older games of like that generation, I try to pick them up playing. Like, and usually it's through emulator. I can't get into it. I find the control schemes are so weird. Like, you need that original controller, or obviously in a lot of cases a keyboard.
Not to mention that some of those old games required the huge thick manual that came with it.
Right.
Because it had answers for things you had to do in the game.
Yep.
That,
Understanding where you were.
Like the one I showed, the Seventh Guest. I remember that had an actual book.
Yeah, that's right. Right. Oh my goodness.
And I have the book actually on my shelf somewhere, but it was one of those ones that even to start the game, it said it would be like page 47, paragraph 2, what's the fourth word?
Oh,
and that's your copy protection. That's how you would get in.
Oh man.
And you had to type that word in, and then it would say, okay, you're good, and it goes forward.
Oh, Apple Bloom, that's crazy. A picture to get into it. That's nuts. Yeah, interesting. Wow.
Yes, Nin, exactly.
That's really cool. That is really cool. I've got Diablo 2 also. Yeah, just game nerd. I've got Diablo 2. And what's funny is Blizzard had a setup where you can take your old Diablo 2 CD key, plug it in, and then they'll give you the digital download of it. Yeah, through the Blizzard launcher. So I did all that. I finally got a setup, which it was a lot more difficult than I think it should have been, but whatever. Got it all set up, downloaded it. It doesn't play on my computer. It's yeah, I don't know what's going on with it.
That's
awful. Yeah. So I'm looking forward to the Diablo 2 remaster. I think that'll be awesome.
Some of those are the situation where you have to like set up a nice DOSBox environment.
Yeah, right.
Really like dig into it
for sure.
To even get things working.
Sure. Yeah.
Oh wow. I'm just looking. It's like some more prizes.
Oh yeah, look at that! Wow, Unreal Tournament. Jeez, I played the crap out of Unreal Tournament. Alice was good too. I played Alice on PlayStation 2. Was it a PlayStation 2 game? I think. Might have been PlayStation 3.
I think it was that. I think it was that era.
Yeah, I think so too. I think it was on PlayStation 2.
And I know when the sequel came out.
Yeah,
they packed in the first game,
right?
So you had the ability to
play that too. Yeah, so maybe it was it.
But yeah, I mean, physical. I mean, back on our point though, it's like physical media. It's just these old games. Like if these were put out in the method that they're pushing things now with all the digital, there's no guarantee that you would even physically have the ability to play these.
Yeah, right.
And it's a shame. I mean, granted, now we have to make these computers jump through an extra couple hoops to make them run.
Sure.
But that's because we're trying to use modern hardware.
Right.
If we still had the computer we had when we got the games, they would just work.
Gotcha. Yeah, right. And it's true. Yeah.
And going forward with these services like this cloud services and streaming services for games, when they decide to rotate content out or really go under and just end,
right,
then then you just lost access to all this stuff.
Right.
It paints a potential grim future.
Yeah.
For gaming.
And instead of like what's the next generation's collectability of games? Like we've got our you know, like what are they going to collect? You know, but then that takes you into like NFTs and all this stuff that's happening now that like I can't even wrap my mind around. You know, so it's
Hey, Army Mike.
This is interesting. You know, actually, Apple Bloom, I think I played Operation Stealth, but I think I'm thinking of an NES cart. So maybe it was a different game, or maybe it was the same game, just on a PC port. I don't know. It sounds familiar though. It does sound familiar. So kind of in my wheelhouse, another kind of update that we had this week. You said Army Mike, it was perfect timing. Yeah, we got a Call of Duty update, which was awesome, and so we played a lot in my community. We play every so often, not as much as Army Mike would like probably, but we did get a modernization of things. We got new maps and stuff like that. Warzone got its big update, got a new map, right? So everybody's been looking forward to a new map because for a year, actually more than a year, we've had the same map. So I was personally looking forward to it because when Cold War came out, the engine changed. It plays smoother, a lot better. So I was hoping that Warzone, the Call of Duty's Battle Royale, would make that switch. And no, that all they did was basically reskin the exact same map that they had. So
No.
It's hard to complain. It's a free game. It's a Fortnite. You know, it's pay to skin, but you don't have to at all. And so it's hard to complain about it. But at the same time, and they did come out and say that they will never modernize Warzone to the Cold War engine. And I'll be honest with you, I'm probably going to uninstall it. It's difficult to go back to the old engine, the different speed of gameplay and stuff like that. So it's kind of a bummer.
Yeah, that sounds like one of those. It's like, you're not going to update. Okay, I guess we're done here.
You're right. It's like, yeah, I guess I've played my last Warzone game because it's too tough to get back into it. I'd have to play it for weeks to get back into the flow, and then the second I go back to play Cold War, no good. So Call of Duty did get an update. Warzone got an update. It was not really an update. It didn't really get anything. So it like I said, for a free game, you can't really complain. But I guess if you couldn't complain, I wouldn't have anything to talk about. So I'm gonna complain. It's crap. We deserve better. We deserve better, But we did get some free games this week, right? There were some pretty decent games.
Yeah,
that came out for free.
Some good ones.
I think the Epic Game Store, I think until the 29th. So you still have a few days to get this. Alien Isolation is free right now. So if you have the Epic Game Store on PC, go get it, go snag it. And what's cool about the free games that they do is you get it for life. You don't have to install it right away. So you can just go click in, get it for life. It's not bad.
And for those of you who, like me, my payment information is not in Epic. You do not require it to purchase free games,
right? Which is very nice. Piece of mind too. Absolutely.
So you don't have to use a credit card in your account.
Something I do in my Discord, I do have a channel that has a couple bots running in it that actually go out and find these free game deals, and they'll post them as they see them. So it's kind of a neat. It's an announcement channel too. If you ever want to link to it, you can through your Discord, and it's cool because it just posts and tells you, hey, there's free games out here, and it looks at all the services. It's pretty neat. But yeah, 100%. Yes, Amazon Prime is another good service that has a ton of good games. They did the MVS games for a while, the Neo Geo games. They were doing ports of all those. Yeah, there's actually an Amazon Prime installer, like they have their front end too, like everybody else does.
Yeah.
But
oh yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of good free ones in there too, for sure. I think Steam Quiplash is a good one. That's a fun one to stream with chat. That's free. I think it's this week. Might have been just a couple days, but that was another one.
I actually got to say, I did not know that one was free until we talked about it earlier.
Nice, awesome.
Yeah. So I'm gonna have to hop on and grab that.
Yeah,
I don't think I have
check it out. Oh, Oscar, no problem. Thank you so much for hanging out. I appreciate the raid too. I appreciate you. Have a good one and get some rest. Oscar is a Finnish streamer, so it's quite late for him in Finland right now. So I appreciate it. Thank you for coming by. I'll see you in your next stream for sure.
Quiplash is free on Steam now.
Yeah,
so,
free on Steam. 100% worth checking out.
Yeah, because that's one of the Jackbox games.
Yeah, it is. It is.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, those are always fun. And then we have over on the Sony console, PS4, PS5, they've been doing, which I'm actually disappointed in myself for that. I didn't bring this up last week too, because there were some other games that had expired and you can't get now. But they've been doing play at home since all the COVID stuff happened. And cool. You don't even require a PlayStation Plus account or subscription or anything. Nice. It's absolutely free.
Nice.
And they had put out like their Ratchet and Clank like new version, the PS4 game.
Wow.
They gave that for free. They gave a handful of other games.
Nice.
The one right now is Horizon Zero Dawn, the complete edition.
Oh, very cool.
Like not even just the vanilla. They're like, here's everything, all the DLC for absolutely free. So I highly recommend
that's awesome.
Anybody who has a PlayStation, go get that one.
Yeah, there's a tick in the X-Fire in the PlayStation column, because Xbox they do give away games, but it's only if you are like a gold member, right? If you do their monthly thing. So
right, and actually PlayStation Plus does that too. Every month there's like 2 games that you can get, and as long as you keep your subscription up, you have access to those games.
Excellent.
But this is no strings attached.
Wow.
All you have to have is the console.
That's cool.
And an internet connection.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's really neat. Yeah, tons of that's one thing. So I will always say PC has the lead there. Is console games, it's a $60 game. You're gonna go buy a $60 game, but PC games, there are a ton. There are hours and hours and hours of free games to play. They might not be the greatest games ever created. They're not your AAA titles, but every now and again, Alien Isolation. Every now and again, GTA 5 was one I picked up free last summer with Epic.
How about when they had the Crash Bandicoot and Spyro?
Yeah,
packs?
right.
Like both remaster packs.
Yep. And it's so PC gaming, and I think somebody mentioned in your channel here, I didn't go back to it, like the $1,200. You do got to put some money into building a PC, but if you start looking at the cost of an Xbox and then $60 a game, I think it kind of evens out. I'd say I do have one gripe with free to play games. Here's one gripe with free to play games: Warzone cheaters. Like their accounts get banned, and they just go create a new account. And whatever. They don't care. You usually get. Well, I won't say usually. There's a higher risk of getting some toxic player. I used to play Smite a lot. Smite was a fun game. I loved the game. Free to play, and you got some unfavorable teammates at times, just because I won't say it was an age thing, but some younger folks, some just angry folks. So I don't know. I do feel like maybe if you had to pay an upfront cost, maybe it filters out some of that. I don't know.
Right. You're right. It does. It's kind of like the admission in, the paying admission when you pay to get into a movie, for instance,
right?
As for kids, when a kid pays to go to a movie,
right,
they act more proper in that theater,
right?
But if they snuck in with friends, they're gonna act like
they're throwing the M&Ms at you. You're throwing a kid over seats. You're getting kicked out. It's
exactly. It brings a different. I think it brings a different behavior when it's something that they've actually invested into.
Right, for sure.
It's not just free and go right in.
Oh, Apple Bloom. Yeah. If the Uncharted, so I never played through the Uncharted series. I started the first game on PlayStation 3 and never really played it. Not because I didn't like the game or anything, just because I ended up moving some stuff around in the game room and never went back to it. If the Uncharted series came to PC and was like remastered, dude, I would love to play that. That would be awesome. Like that'd be the way I would get to enjoy the series. And so that, I agree. That'd be a great one. Great one to have. I'm hoping the PlayStation goes the route of like Xbox and making things, which Xbox has the Windows connection, but making games that are on PC also, have some sort of PlayStation service that would be cool.
Which I guess we can file this under the rumor category, is something that is in the works.
That would be awesome.
Rumor, speculation.
But
I guess it is something that is in the works, because I believe the whole MLB The Show showing up on Microsoft's console was their first step in testing audiences.
Yeah, for sure. Ethan, I saw your link too, buddy. That is funny. Rich equals 24. It's easy. Easy to remember.
Because you figure previously, Sony exclusives, Kingdom Hearts.
Right.
That was Sony only.
Right.
And The mainline games. Obviously, Nintendo had, some on the DS, on the
Sure,
GBA and stuff like
sure,
that.
sure.
But those were mainline Sony games.
Yeah, yeah.
Then the third one came out on the Xbox, but then the entire mainline trilogy came out on PC.
Right, right.
So they're obviously, that's not Sony Studios.
Mm.
It's not PlayStation Studios, but we are starting to see some cross interaction between these platforms now,
Sure.
because I mean, from their end, they got to look at it and there's money to be made.
Oh yeah.
And
Oh,
people
yeah.
will absolutely buy this stuff if you bring it to a platform that they prefer.
Yep, for sure. I know Steam, so many times I have looked at a free game or picked up a free game and it's played well and this and that, and sure enough, Steam has said, hey, if you like this, you might also like this, and I end up buying it, and it's like, it's pretty cool. Is there a service on PC already? Is that for PlayStation games, Apple Bloom? From PlayStation, really?
Yeah, PlayStation Now will run on
PlayStation
PC.
Now runs on PC. Ah, that's excellent. Yep. And it'll take any controller input basically, but those aren't remastered. They're basically just ports or emulation of the original,
right.
Okay.
It's basically cloud gaming,
right,
of the PS3, PS2.
Right,
I want to say there might be a few PS4 games in there, but
nice.
Yeah, it's all cloud processed and then streamed.
Gotcha. Interesting. That is interesting.
I did a sample of PlayStation Now. I didn't stick with it because, once again, back to that subscription service plan.
Yeah,
you're paying that monthly,
right?
And I know I'm not using it enough.
Yeah.
So I just kind of let it go.
Yeah, if you're not going to use it, it's tough to pay that every month.
Especially, it's like look at the backlogs.
Yeah, right, right.
These are games we outright bought.
Yeah,
and I haven't played them at all.
I don't need
streaming.
Right,
as much.
Right.
Yeah.
My Steam library is full of games I haven't played. It's like we're talking about these free games. That's a negative to getting free games all the time. I never play them.
Right.
Right. I got GTA 5. It was so awesome. I've never played it. I need to play it. I gotta do it one day. I gotta crack it on. It's bad. Oh yeah, and that's another big thing too, Apple Bloom. Internet in your area means so much. There's so many people in our country, out in the Midwest, where Elon Musk is trying to solve that problem, but people, if you don't have a good internet connection, these are not solutions for you. So if the industry pushes 100% that way, you're alienating a good percentage of your player base, and that's not good.
Right. Even Nintendo dabbled with the cloud gaming. They put Control on the Switch. And the new I don't know if it was the newest Hitman, but one of the Hitman games, but it was cloud based for so that way you can actually get it looking like the game should look.
Sure.
Because the Switch is the Switch.
Right.
Nintendo was never about power.
Right.
As they got into their later game here. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, Control.
Yeah.
Huge physics-based game with all this graphical flair.
Right.
And it ran because it was cloud-based. But like you said, if you don't have the internet, you can't even play it.
Yeah, no way. Yeah. Oh, Apple.
It's not even like you could turn settings down.
Right. Yeah, no kidding. It's not gonna work at all. Yeah, so I can only assume that in Scotland it's got to be similar. We have our areas. Your metropolitan areas have great internet, but then as you get more rural, it's difficult. It's difficult to get a signal out there,
Right.
Satellite internet was neat, but the latency is just it's not good. Good, but maybe Mr. Musk is going to solve it. I don't know.
Yeah, you're right, Ninfan. You can't afford any more subscriptions.
Yeah, right.
I'm with you.
Right.
I'm with you.
Right.
It's that collector mentality is, well, what if I want to play one of those games? I need that service, so it's there.
Right.
In case I want to play it.
Just in case I want to fire
I'm never
it
going
up.
to play it. Yeah.
It's the same thing with video streaming services. This is the same thing.
Right.
Like streaming services were supposed to rescue us from the cable company, and I swear now they are the cable company. They're a la carte cable company. Like we are nickel and dime. You're right. I'm serious, man. It's crazy. And it's nuts.
I do have to argue the streaming services, some of their original content, I don't even watch network television anymore.
Oh, I'm the same way. I
I'm
have not
straight up.
had
Yeah.
cable TV for years. I just it's good, and it's Netflix is making, so you know, Netflix went streaming, right? And the Blockbuster people tell you that's not what killed them, but I'm sorry. Like, Netflix was smart; they were ahead of the game. And then Netflix now, dude, the content, the original stuff that they're making from their studios is like really good, you know. And Amazon's, I think, right behind them. I think they're making some good content too. And
Well, then you have, I mean, HBO Max.
right,
HBO,
right.
HBO's been solid.
Oh, forever, like 100%.
Plus, I think it was I mean, and I know we're getting way off topic with this, but I know it was an interesting test the waters for the fact of all this COVID stuff that happened, that Warner Brothers is like, first run movies, all of our 2021 first run movies, right to streaming.
Right. That's
day
crazy.
and date with theater.
Crazy.
And it's amazing to be able to do it.
I hope it doesn't kill movie theaters. I still love movie theaters.
Yeah.
I hope it does. But at the same time, try to open a movie theater in America with the licensing and the expense of it. It's not a practical business venture. It's not.
Right.
And so maybe if this shapes that industry a little better and gives people an opportunity, I'd open a theater. I'd go get a loan tomorrow and I would open a theater. But yeah, the percentages and the things that you make on that is just it's ridiculous. And so maybe this will help that in a way, maybe
to kind of put things back into perspective of that. It needs to be an event to go out to the movies. Right. Not just here's the movies, here's 50 movies at this theater.
Exactly.
It needs to be the spectacle.
Yep. Oh, Apple Bloom, you're watching WandaVision. We're gonna talk about WandaVision here in a little bit. We're gonna break into that. So that's awesome. That's good. I'm glad you're watching it. So I will say our topic of the week. Yes. If I think movies, I'll say one more thing. Movie theaters have to overcharge, not because the movie theater is greedy or the movie theater wants to overcharge. It's because of the pressure being put on them from the studios. It's because of how much money they have to send back to the studio.
Not to mention, and little tidbit, this is obviously not current numbers. Things might be different now, but when I used to work in a movie theater, we got to know what these numbers were in the ratios. There were, more often than not, first 2 weeks of, big blockbuster movie, first 2 weeks, the theater sees zero from ticket sales.
Right.
Zero.
Right.
So since they're not getting any of their ticket sales, that's why you're paying $5 for a popcorn.
That's why the food's so expensive. Yeah.
Because you got to keep the lights on. You got to pay the employees. I mean, it's insane.
Yep. If the studios weren't putting that pressure on, they wouldn't have to charge like they do. And and
then even after that, they only trickle out to be, okay, now the theater gets 3%.
Right.
And then the theater gets 5%.
Yep.
At no point does the theater even make 50.
Right. And that's like, you see these blockbuster movies that stay in the theater for months and months and months. And that's why, it's like now finally they're making money, it's like, but anyways. So I know. I love the movies. I absolutely love the movies. I love it.
I think we'll have some future conversations on this.
100%. Because I got a lot of personal.
The OG VODCAST will solve the movie theater.
That's right. We're gonna solve it all, and then maybe open a theater, and that'll be good. That'll be solid.
Yes.
But our main topic this week. So carrying on from like the topics that we had last week, where we talked about Nintendo 64 and how it was awful. No, I'm just kidding. Our console wars, we'll call them. So this week we're talking about Dreamcast, PlayStation 2, and the original Xbox. I feel like
and GameCube.
And GameCube. Like it's tough for me to put Dreamcast and GameCube in the same.
Really?
It's tough for me. I feel like
they're not separated by far.
I know.
Yeah,
I feel like Dreamcast was so advanced. Like it was just, but I guess we'll get into it. But I personally never had a Dreamcast. I never had a GameCube. I was a PlayStation 1 guy. had a PlayStation 1 through high school. When PlayStation 2 came out, PlayStation 2 guy. And then I ended up getting an Xbox, and it's actually a funny story how I got my Xbox. We'll talk about that in a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
So if you had to pick one, what's your favorite?
Ooh,
I know.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah, I know, it's a tough question.
Because I have actually owned all 4
Mm-hmm.
from back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
I actually did Dreamcast. I got that on release.
Nice.
Because the Dreamcast originally over that summer, they had a preview program to help promote it through Hollywood Video where you could rent it before release.
Oh, wow.
And I remember doing that. And after you got it for 48 hours with Sonic Adventure. I put time into that game and I'm like,
wow.
I am buying this console when it comes out.
That's awesome.
Bought that day and date when it released. PS2, I bought a little into its life cycle. Same with GameCube and Xbox. But yeah, I mean, gosh, I would say the fondest memories are probably Dreamcast.
Wow. No kidding. Wow.
Yeah. Because, I got to go Dreamcast.
Sega do what Nintendo adds. I'd say so. For me, I had a lot of fun on the PlayStation 2. I'll say PlayStation 2. I didn't have a GameCube. I didn't get a Dreamcast, and my Xbox was much later in it. So I PlayStation 2. I played a ton of games on PlayStation 2, and I played with friends too. Yeah, because right. Yeah, it was much later. So I'd say PlayStation 2, not because I think it's superior, but just it was kind of like my go-to back then. Mm-hmm. So I think even today, Apple Bloom, I just got to say, okay, look, Sega's cool, but it's not better than Nintendo. And you tune in on future VODCAST. We'll talk about how Nintendo does everything that Sega can't. But that's okay. That's all right. No.
Nice, Broom Hatter. You still have your GameCube.
I do. I have a Japanese Orange Spice GameCube that I put a chip in to where it'll play US games and stuff too.
Nice.
I love it. I sit down and play it. It's not an unpopular opinion, but I do think Sonic. I do think the best GameCube that's ever been made is a Wii. I think the Wii plays GameCube games so much better than the GameCube did, you know? And so
I'll give you that. And that's the backwards compatibility at its prime.
I actually got into more GameCube games with my Wii than I did with a GameCube because I didn't have it until later. I liked my Wii. But I think the Nintendo is always going to win with those first party, just, you know, Mario Kart, Zelda, Mega Man, like I Metroid, good one on the GameCube. Right. A lot of people love Animal Crossing, you know, and
F-Zero on the GameCube was phenomenal.
F-Zero
was great.
The Harvest Moon game was kind of like Animal Crossing. So GameCube's titles, I feel like if you just sliced out those main, you know, IPs from them, dude, that's a great console, you know. And then you know, Xbox had Halo. I mean, there were other games obviously, but Halo was its big, you know, carrier back then. You know?
And for Xbox too, that was their first foray into a console,
right?
So they were behind the curve for sure. They didn't really have the IPs.
And Xbox was interesting to me too, because if you crack into an original Xbox, it's like a computer. I mean, it is a computer. It's a PC. It's a single board PC, and it's neat.
One of my favorite things on the Xbox was the games that would allow you a custom soundtrack, because you would rip your CD to the hard drive.
Yep, that's right. That was really cool. It was like, I think Microsoft did a good job of going into that PC style of thinking. And now the stuff that they were doing then is typical on any console. You know, it's like they're all PC based. They're all, you know, they all seem to do that. PlayStation 2 was my first dabble into online gaming with friends. I got into sports games really big. on my PlayStation 2, and yeah, actually hooking up a network connection to it, and you know, playing online games. It was my first download, and that was so much fun. It was, and it wasn't great. It was great for us at the time, right? It was like, wow, this is so amazing. But I did play some. I used to play FIFA and Madden with friends online. It was good. It was kind of cool. But and then Dreamcast, I never got a Dreamcast. In fact, I have a Dreamcast right now, and I think I have 2 games for it, and I don't even think it's hooked up. I don't.
Oh wow.
Oh no, it is hooked up. I lied. It's hooked up. But I in fact, when I first turned on a Dreamcast and it was making the noise the Dreamcast makes, I thought mine was broken. I was like, "Oh my god, it's making all this grinding weird noise." I don't know. No, that's just the sound of the Dreamcast. Yeah, that's just Dreamcast. No, that's fine. It's fine. I'm like, oh, okay, all right.
They as they aged, they did get loud.
Yeah,
they definitely got loud.
Yeah.
From fresh out of the box, they weren't like that.
Oh, interesting. Interesting.
Yeah. I mean, you can hear the laser housing, you know, seek and the drive spin,
right?
But it's nothing like what they become as they age.
Right. We had a funny. My wife will like this story. We in our mall we had, I think it was a Babbage's, and they had a Dreamcast out for it. It had NBA 2K on it. Right? Was there a little play game, and a buddy of mine that was on my basketball team. Yeah, I know she's excited. Buddy of mine he was the center on my basketball team in high school. He's like 7'3". Like the dude was like, he was built to play basketball. I was like, we did well because we had a really big dude as a center. You know what I'm saying? Like, and because of me, of course, right. But no, yeah, he was pretty solid basketball player. Well, we happened to be in the mall at the same time one day, and he was over there playing, and the wife steps up and it's like, oh yeah, I'll try it out. Sure, why not? Whoops him on some NBA 2K right there in the mall in front of everybody. And I'm talking, wife's here, he's up here. It was great. It was great. Was it GameStop? I didn't think it was GameStop back then. That's funny. But yeah, just whooped him, put him down. And to this day, every time we see him, never lets him forget it. So it's good. It's fun.
That's great.
It's fun. She was like, I don't even know what I'm doing. Oh, 3. Did I just shoot 3? That was awesome. But
little bit of a grandma's boy attitude. It's like, oh, is that my high score? Is that a high score?
Did I break it?
Did I break it?
Yeah, it was good. It was good. That's one of my few experiences with Dreamcast early on, and I know a lot of people played like Shenmue and like some of these games and titles, and they're like, oh, my buddy owns a game store. It's like his favorite console, and I'm just like, I don't know. Like, it looks great. It's beautiful.
Right. See, where I feel the Dreamcast, what really, really brought it to the forefront at that time was the fact that Sega was strong in the arcades at that moment.
Sure.
And Dreamcast was arcade perfect.
Wow.
Replicas of the game. So you had games like Crazy Taxi. You had games like House of the Dead. You know, and they were exactly like what you played in the arcade.
That's awesome.
Plus some of the Namco games too, because you have Soul Calibur. Right. Soul Calibur. Ironically, Soul Calibur on the Dreamcast is actually a superior version to the arcade graphically.
Wow.
Like, they took it to a whole other level.
Wow. That's awesome.
But they have all. I mean, they had Daytona, Daytona USA.
Yeah. Right.
I mean, there are a lot of strong arcade titles that
Virtua Fighter, right? Wasn't all the Virtua Fighter games were? Yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah. They definitely were the arcade console, in my opinion.
Sure.
I hate to say they kind of were a little bit weak in the other areas, but if it was an arcade game and it came to the Dreamcast, it was fire.
That's awesome. Oh, that's really cool. Yeah, Apple Bloom. I'll say
Marvel versus Capcom.
Oh yeah, right. Another Oh yeah, loved that game.
Yeah,
absolutely loved it in the arcade. Again, to have Dreamcast, but
right.
I do think Nintendo. I think their quality control, like, you'd never hear about batches of, except for Joy-Cons. We won't talk about Joy-Cons, but you don't hear about batches of their hardware just being bad, like Red Rings of Death and this and that and the other. You get from all the other consoles, and it's that is true. I do think that they had superior QA for sure.
Plus this is one of the eras where Nintendo actually came in stronger than PlayStation.
Yeah.
As
Yeah.
far as actual hardware performance,
Right.
they had a stronger console than the PS2.
Right. Right.
It could push better polygons, better frame rates
Yeah. Yeah.
at higher resolutions.
Right.
The only thing, this was the start of, in my opinion, this was the not really the start, because we talked about the N64. Their storage formats are not the most well thought out.
No, not at
They
all.
stayed with cartridge when CD
Right.
happened.
Right.
Now that PlayStation and everybody went DVD, GameCube is like,
Yeah.
how about we use the mini DVDs that are
Yeah.
1.5 gig?
Right. Why not? You know, let's just
Which actually put them on the same track as what the Dreamcast, because they had the gigabit
Right.
disc or gigabyte
Right.
disc,
That's
GD
awesome.
ROMs.
That's cool, Apple Bloom. I didn't realize that. They dropped a bomb on a Game Boy and it's still playing Tetris. That's awesome.
Wow.
Doesn't everybody that's gotten a Game Boy play Tetris at one point? Like, it was the packing game, I know.
It's a rite of passage.
But yeah, it's like, dude, it's just like you have to play. You know, you have to. So one thing I did like about PS2 that I don't think that, which obviously didn't really apply to Xbox or Dreamcast, I guess. Like the backwards compatibility. Since PlayStation 1 was kind of ahead of its time, they had that ability. You know, they could do the backwards compatibility. And like we were talking about earlier, it wasn't even a question back then. It was like, yeah, it's backwards compatible. You know, it was like, and like every PlayStation 2 that was coming out was backwards compatible until they got to the Slims and stuff, and that got. And you had the different styles. It was interesting to the different media of the PlayStation 2 discs. I think there were like 3 of them. There was like a black, kind of like the PlayStation 1. There was like a blue, and then there was just your traditional like silver. I think like your regular CD look. Yeah, right. But that I always loved that, because I still had all my PS1 games. Well, most of them. I traded some of them in, but you know, it's like, it's nice to see a console do that. Xbox obviously didn't have anyone before it. Dreamcast and GameCube were cartridges, like, so they couldn't do it, you know. So it's
well, technically Dreamcast was Saturn before.
Oh yeah, that's right. It was Saturn.
But,
yeah.
But Saturn was such a weird architecture.
That's right.
That I think them moving forward to make the hardware what the Dreamcast was, I think. Well, they also came in at only a $199 price tag.
Yeah,
too. So they hit a low price tag.
Sure.
So I think that was one of the concessions.
Right. I forgot all about Saturn. Duh. Like, wow, that's funny. It's because we didn't really talk about it last week. It was like,
it really was the sad third wheel of that generation.
I'll tell you what. You want to start a poll? See what everybody thinks.
Sure.
Let's see here.
Yeah, let's
see what we got.
Of course, I don't have my creator dashboard up.
I got smart and actually set mine up this week because I didn't have mine.
All right. New poll question. Favorite we'll go favorite, because with these you can't really say best because they all excelled in certain areas.
This is true.
They all actually brought something unique to the table over the others, because let's see. I can't type and talk at the same time.
I know, I'm the same way. No, each one definitely had their unique you know, sort of like thing about them that made them unique. Like, you know, today, you know, as these properties, and especially like as the titles start getting closer and closer together, I mean, it's like, man, like I said, is hardware going to be different moving forward? I mean, it's like they almost use the same chips, they use the same graphics chips, they use the same, you know, it's like, it's crazy, it's unreal.
All right, favorite console and start poll. 10 minutes.
I like it.
So vote, chat, vote, take your pick. What's your favorite? But yeah, I mean, some of the things that set them apart, though, where they each brought something unique to the table. Like I said, Dreamcast, they were just pulling their arcade properties and just saying, here's an arcade perfect port.
Right.
And it's exactly what you play in the arcade, if not improved, because they polished it up for home.
Sure. Yeah,
but
that's
then you
great.
have PS2, where, I mean, the fact that they're like, here's a DVD player.
Right. Yeah.
When DVD players were still in their earlier infancy, not their infancy,
right?
They still were not as common to where you almost could get a PlayStation 2 for what the good DVD player costs separate.
Right. Yeah, and that's true. And being able to do multifaceted things.
Right.
Mrs. That was the generation before. That was the Nintendo 64. So it would have been GameCube would be its new version, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, like and going forward into even further, you know, when Xbox went with like HD DVD versus PlayStation going with Blu-ray, right?
Oh,
like
in the future,
you know, and so there that continued to be a trend, like and be a thing. So
but you figure the OG Xbox, the fact, like we were saying, they're like a PC. You know, they had the hard drive in them, so you were doing custom soundtracks and games, and not to mention the fact that that was the birth of Xbox Live.
Right.
I mean,
right. For
on
sure.
that console.
Yep, for sure.
I mean,
for sure.
I was never a member of Xbox Live back then, but our friend Ghost, he was one of the, like, I remember when he first got it, when it first became a thing. So he has had his gamer tag since.
Oh, that's awesome. That's cool.
Back then.
That's cool.
And it's nuts. And
that's
then you
awesome.
have the GameCube, who they were killing it with their first party titles.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't even really compare.
Sure.
You know, some of the like Mario, Zelda, you know, that type of stuff.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and then exactly. Dreamcast with the VMU.
Oh right, yeah. The VMU was way ahead of its time for sure.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Basically a memory card that was also a Tamagotchi, and did other displays in the controller.
Segata Sanshiro, the man, the myth, the legend. Oh, for Saturn in Japan, 100%. That's interesting. They had to have the cartridge fused into it. That's unreal. That's a PR stunt. What that is. That's painful. Xbox Live. I think that's the original Xbox is where I got the 24. Also, that was my first console. I forget what it was on PlayStation, or if we even made them. I don't know. Gosh,
that was another big thing. Thinking Xbox too is they did first 1080i game graphics. Their games and their output would scale to 1080i, so you were actually hooking it up high definition. The other consoles like GameCube did, you know, their 480p and stuff. PlayStation did their 480p.
Right.
But
you're right. No, that was
Dreamcast had a VGA adapter. I used to have that.
Yep, that's right.
Hooked up to a computer monitor.
Yep. I think Xbox got one eventually. It was I think it was a third party though. I don't think it was ever an official official one, but yeah, Dreamcast did have Resident Evil Code Veronica. Was Code Veronica on GameCube too? Or no?
No, Code Veronica was Dreamcast, and then I think it ultimately came out as Code Veronica X on PlayStation.
Oh, gotcha. Nice, very cool. I have heard that the light gun games on Dreamcast are phenomenal. Like they're really fun to play. So and I love those games. Like they're
I still have my light guns. I'm actually shocked they still work too.
Oh, that's awesome. I've got one somewhere around here. I don't know. I'll have to hook it up one day. We'll try it out.
I don't have the official light guns. I didn't like those. I got the ones that are actually look more like they're like gray versions of what the Saturn ones were.
Oh, very cool. That's awesome.
Because the Dreamcast, they went kind of like a weird shape.
Yeah,
I never liked the official Sega ones.
Yeah. It's like the Wii one. That was weird. It Link's crossbow training, like the hold it like this, or like.
Yeah.
Bad.
Yeah, my Dreamcast light guns have like a D-pad on the side that you can hit with your finger. So when you're holding the
for sure
like that, you actually hit the D-pad and you have your buttons there.
Yeah, I had So I have the multiplayer map pack for the original Halo. It actually, instead of downloading it, it was a disc you could buy. It was disc DLC basically, like, says you couldn't go out and buy it anymore. So it is kind of different. Alpha Blue, thanks so much for hanging out. I appreciate it. Thank you for being here. Thank you for coming in with the raid. Have an awesome night. Enjoy yourself. I know it's late for you in Scotland, so thank you for sticking with us. I really appreciate it. Have an awesome night and a great weekend. But yeah, no, forced to do DLCs, day one DLCs. Yeah, it's like this stuff. It wasn't a thing. It didn't. It wasn't. In fact, if you wanted updates, it came on a disc for people that didn't have the internet connectivity, you know, and it wasn't it required that you had internet connectivity in that.
Yeah, the game that you bought was indeed the finished product.
Right.
They're like, here you go, here's your game.
Yep,
you bought it
for sure.
But oh yeah, Nintendo, you're right on the Dreamcast. Yeah, the emulation that the Dreamcast did, because it was basically like a little Windows console.
Right. That's true.
You could run. I remember the what is it, Bleamcast?
Yeah, that's right.
The emulation disc.
Right.
Yep. PlayStation games on it.
Yep. Yeah, there was that was a good era for, you had HD Advance on PlayStation 2 where you could put in the larger hard drive with the network adapter, right? And then you could load games to that. It was a good era for modding consoles. XBMC was like huge, you know. Now Xbox Media Center is like, it's funny, the people that use that install XBMC on their Fire Stick or whatever, they don't even know what XBMC stands for, but it's like, it's Xbox Media Center. It's the old school Xbox, man, the original Xbox. So it's really cool. I'll tell you this. So I'll tell you my story on how I got my original Xbox. So I was an E3 Airman First Class Chislett, young, just ready to take on the world, you know. And the base I was stationed at had a recycling center. And, you know, we you know, as a young airman, we were always tasked with extra duties that were awful. So taking the trash out was one of them, getting all the stuff to recycle center, stuff like that. Oh yeah, I'm 100% telling the story. So when you go to the recycling center, they had actually white collar convicts that were working at the recycling center, sorting all the trash and the recyclables and things like that. So it was, you know, they were in their beige, you know, onesies, and, you know, there was never any hardened criminals, but, you know, they were locked up, you know, they were federal criminals. So, you know, we get up there and I get to looking, and in this bin is this massive amount of bottle caps. And I'm like, what is going on? Like, what is, and they're like, yeah, we can't recycle the bottle caps from the bottle. So we have to take the bottle caps off, and then we recycle the bottles. We put them through the machine and everything. I was like, huh, what do you do with the bottle caps? They're like, yeah, we just throw them away or whatever. And I'm like, the Xbox Mountain Dew promotion was going on at the time. And I'm looking at like 100,000 green bottle caps. And I'm like, hey guys, like, I would absolutely love if you could get me some of these Mountain Dew bottle caps. And they're like, dude, we can get you thousands of them literally every week. Like, it's no problem. And I'm like, huh, okay, well, yeah, how about this? How I just come back next week and you throw them in a trash before I pick it up? And then it was like, yeah, but what, you know, what are you gonna do for me? You know, and it was like, all of a sudden we're in the prison yard, and it's like, yeah, but, you know. So I was like, well, I mean, what do you need? And they're like, well, you know, we haven't had Burger King in a while. So I went to Burger King. I got Whopper meals. I put them in a trash bag, and we did an exchange of bottle caps for trash bags. And it was good. It was good. I did not illegally support prisoners or anything, blah, 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 whatever. However, 3 of us got Mountain Dew Xboxes.
Wow.
Yep. And we got enough codes to enter it in, and that's how I got my original Xbox. And dude, I'm telling you, yeah, it was awesome, man. It was great. And so cool. we ended up going back, getting Coke points. We had a long, good standing relationship with the convicts that worked there at the recycling center. It was good for a while. And as far as I know, it continued after I left. But really, for me, getting the Xbox was the biggest thing. That was really cool. And that's cool. That's a pretty valuable Xbox now too. So that's pretty nice.
Oh yeah, because that's true. It would have been the exclusive one, not just a standard Xbox.
Yep. They only made 5,000 of them. So pretty cool. All right.
So I assume you still have that one.
Yeah. Well, funny story. That we'll probably get into, talking about trade-in regrets.
No,
I
feel you.
I don't. It's a $1,000 console all day long, and I don't still have it. Yeah, I'm very sad. Very, very sad. But we'll get into that. We'll get into that sadness in another Another episode. So my poll ended at a tie. My poll actually ended at a tie.
Mine came Dreamcast first, PlayStation second, and no votes for the other two.
Oh wow! I got GameCube and Dreamcast 1-1.
Oh
yeah. So that's. I mean, I'm okay with all the consoles. I don't have that strong like or dislike for any of them.
This was the generation that set us into motion for where we're currently are with consoles.
Right.
Absolutely.
For sure.
This was the beginning of the momentum to get where we are now.
Right. Absolutely. I hear you. I think GameCube, the titles that were made. I'll tell you, Double Dash on the GameCube. I love that concept of being able to switch. You know, I can't. They haven't really gone back to that. You know, they've never really gone back to that co-op race kind of. You know, so I always liked that. Thought that was interesting, but
yeah. You figure though. I mean, as far as this being what springboarded us into the current options on these nowadays consoles is all four of those had online.
Right.
All four. It became a standard that consoles are now going to have online connectivity.
Right. That's awesome.
And then I mean I have some notes just to make sure I hit them. So I'm admitting I wrote some stuff down.
Right.
So you also have the fact that this was where all four consoles too introduced the analog trigger.
Right.
For the LNR triggers.
That's true.
So racing games you can actually control throttle.
Right. It's a throttle control, not just on off. Right. That's awesome.
And that's actually where I did put a little side note is for anybody who collects GameCubes and GameCube games, if you have the original generation GameCube controllers, you have analog. If you go into the store and buy one of those GameCube controllers that are like the fight controllers for your Switch or for the Wii, they skipped out on it. They're digital. They still have the soft press, but they only actually react as digital.
Wow.
It actually breaks games like how we were talking earlier, and this is where it's coming back up, Mario Sunshine.
Sure.
You can't throttle how much water you shoot from flood.
Right.
So like it's either you're going full blast or you don't shoot it at all. So you can't actually just People that play
Super Smash Brothers are always looking for those original ones too.
Right. I'm not sure if I'm not sure where analog comes in on that, but I mean, I imagine other parts of it still feel differently.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That was one of the things is I actually do not have a functional original GameCube controller.
Oh wow, really?
I have a third party that works.
Sure.
Of from that era, so it's analog triggers.
Right.
I do not have an actual GameCube one that functions.
Oh wow, that's awesome.
And I've gone to my local retro store and stuff, and I'm like, hey, you know, I want to pick up, you know, GameCube controllers. Only ones they have are the one with the systems that they're selling, and of course, I'm not going to buy a whole new system.
Yeah, right. Of course.
Like, oh, we have all of these. We have all these GameCube controllers on the wall. I'm like, yeah, but those aren't. I actually got into a debate over it with them, and they're like, well, no, those are GameCube controllers. They're just like the originals. I'm like, they are not.
Wow, that's awesome. Wow.
Yeah.
Hey, oh man, that's you know, I didn't think about that, but that is something that plays even today. You know how hard you press the trigger and how it's like it's just common now. It's like it's everywhere.
Wow. Right, exactly. Yeah, you can
And that was kind of the beginning.
In driving games, that coupled with the analog sticks that have now become standard on controllers.
Sure. Wow.
Because you figure that this was the time that all the consoles introduced analog sticks.
Right. Wow, that's crazy. Oh yeah.
Obviously, PlayStation 1 was ahead.
Yeah.
You know, they had their DualShock.
Yeah, the DualShock came out later but it wasn't that great. It was they weren't it didn't really work that well. The Infan, that's funny. So my wife later after I got my Xbox through a contest, rigged contest, but contest, right? My wife won a slim PlayStation 2 off a box of fries during Monopoly at McDonald's, right? And then just a couple months ago, she won an Xbox One X from a Twitter post. She's
Oh,
lucky.
wow.
Yeah, she's lucky, man. She wins all this stuff, and of course she wins
I don't
video
win anything.
gaming stuff. I know. And I'm like, there's a lot of gamers that probably entered this, and they're like, oh, some gamer beat me out. Nope. Oh, it was Instagram, and it was from Doritos, from the Twitter post for the Xbox One X. So she won me an Xbox and a Slim PlayStation, and we still have all those. We do still have all those. But that's
Back when the back when the One X came out, I played the Taco Bell thing all the time
oh yeah.
because I used to. That was like, and not unhealthy. Side note, I'm not overdoing it at Taco Bell and stuff, but
Uh-huh.
there's a Taco Bell down the street from where I work, and me and a couple people from work. That's where we'd always go to lunch because we would just go get like a couple dollar menu items, and
Oh yeah.
we knew everybody there, and they were always like, "Oh yeah, here, free drinks and all this stuff." So we would always, and they'd always give us the cups that had the little peel away. So I've peeled so many of those trying to
Yeah.
see if and text the numbers in and see if I
Right.
get the winner. Nope.
We had the
I,
gold ones that came out. We had two guys locally that won them, and that's I would have loved to get that. That would have been awesome. But what were
yeah.
some? Let's see. So for me, some titles on. It's funny. So like I told you, PlayStation 2 was my game. I played a lot of sports games back then. A lot of multiplayer stuff like that. But really, when I think back to games that I played that I really enjoyed,
Mhm.
I think about Xbox games. I loved the Star Wars Obi-Wan game on the original Xbox.
I
It
remember that
was
game.
yeah, it was so your right thumbstick became your control for your lightsaber. And it was difficult because like you didn't have that third camera, like so all your movement was with one stick, but man, it was cool. It was a lot of fun. Darth Maul was tough to beat in that game. That was a really tough one.
I, I never finished that game.
Oh, dude,
I always got my butt kicked.
it took me forever. The wife will tell you. Like we listened to the Dueling Fates. Dun 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 dun. It was like hours of me trying to hanging in the hole watching Darth Maul. Like, man, I'm gonna get you, dude. Just hang on. I'm gonna come get you. Ah, God, it took forever. Another one was actually all the games that I enjoyed on that were really tough to beat. I played the Punisher game. I loved the Punisher game on the original Xbox. And the next to last boss, you fight the Russian, and fighting that Russian was so difficult. Oh, I spent so many hours trying to beat that Russian. But then after I beat him, beating the boss was like easy. I always thought that was funny. But oh yeah, man, there were some good games, and from that generation, Unbreakable Taco, I love it.
Yeah,
I love
so
it.
now I got myself a new nickname now.
Unbreakable Taco. I love it. That's so good.
I had many quesadillas. I didn't do tacos.
Yeah. Oh, that's even better. That's even better. Oh man, you're going to Taco Bell. I'd say one series that I absolutely loved, and it was on I don't know if it was on Dreamcast or not. The Burnout series. I loved Crash Mode in the Burnout series.
It came after the Dreamcast's demise.
Yeah. And dude, I loved those games. I bet it would have been beautiful on Dreamcast. It would have been awesome. The Crash Mode was so good. I played the crap out of those games. That was fun. That was always a good time.
We need a new one that features Crash Mode because they did away with it with Paradise.
I know Crash Mode was so good. LaCordia, we're chatting about the generation of gaming that was Dreamcast and PlayStation 2, Xbox, and GameCube, kind of comparing and talking about our favorite games and favorite systems. Speaking of, what games were your favorites from that generation?
Well, since we were saying, I probably, because since I've actually owned them all in that era, in that generation, I have a few for each, I would say.
Yeah.
So I'll start with Xbox since that's where we were. Knights of the Old Republic.
Oh yeah. Yep.
Going back with the Star Wars.
Oh yeah.
That game
So
was
good.
That was phenomenal.
So good.
And on Xbox also, I gotta say, one I have fond memories of playing, and it's like I loved the gambling and just the novelty of the game. Is I actually really had fun with Dead or Alive Extreme Beach Volleyball.
Oh wow, no
Do
kidding.
you remember that? Do you remember that game?
Yeah, yeah, I played it a little, not a ton, but
The later ones got pervy.
yeah,
They
yeah.
they they,
A little.
they,
Uh,
they went
uh,
more towards that.
yeah.
But the original one, it's like it was like kind of almost dating sim slash, because you could gamble in the casinos,
Oh
so you
wow.
can buy items and you can buy all this cosmetic stuff,
Nice.
and then you play the volleyball games,
Nice.
and it was it was fun. It was a lot of fun.
Ah,
Um,
interesting. Interesting.
and then of course Burnout. I mean, Burnout Revenge
Oh
was,
yeah.
oh
Ah, I
man,
loved it. Loved it. Can't
yeah.
remember any 90s games. Oh
Oh, I'm sorry,
no.
not Burnout Revenge. Burnout Revenge was 360.
Oh yeah, you're right. You're right.
Yeah, what was it? I think it was just Burnout.
Yeah, it was Burnout and Burnout 2, right? And
Yeah.
then it went Paradise or
Well,
Revenge.
Revenge. There was Revenge.
Revenge.
There was, um, yeah. There
Yeah.
were
Oh,
multiple
so good.
flavors.
I love those. Yeah, Crash Mode is such a good. You could build a total game on Crash Mode and like make it online to where your
Mhm.
scores are like published out there to where it's like a
Oh yeah.
true blue like so many games today you're not going for high score anymore. You know, it's like there's so many other things to do in a game. High score doesn't really matter, but that's a game where it could really, be awesome.
Oh yeah. And yeah, just a gamer. No, Xbox was not 90s. It was 2001, I believe.
Yeah. Yeah.
Am I right?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, you might be right. Yeah, I think so.
Or
I
or
think
end of
so.
2000 at least.
Right, right.
Yeah.
Right in there.
Um, but yeah, I mean Xbox, and then yeah, they had some good games. See, I was never a Halo person.
Yeah,
I don't
yeah,
know. I never got into Halo, so that one
yeah.
never really got me. But then, I mean, rolling over to Dreamcast, it's like I already said, they're arcade ports,
Oh yeah.
and I could just play Sonic Adventure forever. I love the
Yeah,
soundtrack to
yeah,
that game so
yeah,
much.
yeah. That's awesome.
But yeah, I had lots of fun memories with the Dreamcast for that. And then you had the weird games, which I actually owned. Seaman.
Yeah, right. Oh, see, man. Yeah. Wow.
That's honorable mention. That's by no
Yeah.
means my favorite game.
That's an expensive game today too. Man. That's a
Yeah,
pricey one. Yeah, that's a good one.
yeah, because of that microphone.
Mm-hmm.
I even
Mm-hmm.
had I don't remember what the name. I don't have this one anymore, but I don't remember the name of it, but they had a fishing game, and they had a fishing controller with the
Yep.
thumb button, the
Yep.
trigger,
I
and
remember.
the reel.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah,
Yep. Yep. I remember that.
that game was fun.
Yeah,
That game
that
was
was
a
a good
lot of
one.
fun.
And another expensive title now today. Tough to
Yeah,
find. Tough to
yep,
find. Yeah.
yeah, all because of the I'm sure it's all because of the proprietary controllers
Sure.
is what
Sure.
really skyrockets it.
Right. Right.
But yeah, and then you go over to like PlayStation 2 though. I mean, one of my favorites had to be when Kingdom Hearts hit.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Yeah,
I
yeah,
mean,
for sure.
I
Yeah.
was hooked on Kingdom Hearts
Right.
from
Right.
the very beginning.
Right. So I've played the first probably 30 minutes of the first Kingdom Hearts game, and that's it. I've never played them. I've never gone through them and beat them. I know it was a like I said, I played so many sports games and stuff back then. I kind of
Mhm.
left the adventure games behind and the RPG games even.
Right.
And yeah, I haven't played a ton of single player story mode style games on PlayStation 2 and beyond that. So
Hmm.
that's interesting.
Yeah,
That's
I would say on PlayStation 2, I played a handful of RPGs. I mean, Final Fantasy X was another big
right,
takeaway.
right, right. Sure, sure. You
But
said Halo on Xbox. You know, one thing
mhm.
that killed me was the end of Halo 2. Have you played it since then? Have you beaten Halo to Halo 2?
Well, no, that I mean that's what I said. For I was never a Halo
Yeah, I
fan,
never really got
so
into
like
it.
I never even played through the originals on the console.
The end of Halo 2 was such a cliffhanger. It was just this huge, oh
Mhm.
my goodness, cliffhanger. And then to find out what happened, you had to get a 360. And I'm just like, I hate you.
Mm.
I hate you, Microsoft. I hate you so much. You know, because
They knew
you
exactly
got
what they
me,
were doing.
you got me. It was so bad.
That was the
So
plan
bad.
all along.
Yep, yep.
But and then of course like the GameCube. I mean, I loved Wind Waker.
Oh yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's a
Like
good one.
I know so many people hate Wind Waker,
Yeah,
but I absolutely love Wind Waker.
yeah,
Wind Waker, F-Zero GX was a blast, the racing game.
yeah.
And then the Resident Evil remake
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
that
That's
they
right.
did.
That's right. Yeah, that was
And
good.
it looked I remember how amazing it looked
Oh
when it
yeah.
first came out on there.
Was that Not. Oh no, that was Resident Evil 4. Resident Evil
Oh
4
yeah,
had the special edition, the steelbook through GameStop. I always loved it.
yeah. Four was
Yeah,
on GameCube as well.
that's right.
But yeah,
That's
the
right.
original remake. I
Yeah,
mean,
so
with the new
good.
graphics and
So good.
oh man, yeah. But on the GameCube, I used to actually play a lot of, and I guess some on the PlayStation 2, but more on the GameCube. I used to play a lot of wrestling games.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Like
Yep.
because the GameCube had their own that they had the oh my gosh, I'm see I got to use the good old Google here.
Uh-oh. Google knows.
Day of Reckoning. Those were they had Day of Reckoning and Day of Reckoning 2. And those were exclusive GameCube ones. And man, those were so much fun.
Pretty good, huh? Interesting.
You know, because when PlayStation had like SmackDown versus Raw and stuff.
Right.
Or SmackDown.
Yeah, and I played those. I did not play the ones on GameCube though. That's interesting.
Yep.
A lot of people.
And I guess I'm sorry that makes me think too. Xbox, WWE Raw.
Yep.
On the Xbox.
Yeah.
And how impressive it was, the fact that load your own music in, create your own intro for your own character.
You can make your intro. That's right. I forgot about that. That was so good.
I remember doing that.
Yep, that was awesome too. Yeah, that was always good. Dude, yeah, that was great. Man, I haven't thought about that forever. We just streamed that one night. That's awesome. Like, they're just making your own little... Of course, you gotta be careful what music you pick, but, you know, that's okay.
That's true.
That
is true.
Gosh, a lot of people last week talking about Mario 64 threw shade on Super Mario Sunshine. I liked Sunshine. Like, I enjoyed it. Like, the gameplay was... Now, I think I did have one of those. I'm real curious to see the difference between not having that analog controller, like you talk, because I never even thought about that. Like, that's...
I'll tell you what, that's the one thing that kind of throws me playing it on the Mario 3D All-Stars.
Yeah.
Because the Switch does not have analog triggers.
Wow, that's crazy.
So they actually... they tweaked the game a little bit so that way it would function slightly different. So when you pull the triggers, that it would actually react the more preferred way, but still not the same as the original.
That's crazy.
It was just enough of a change.
Wow, that's nuts.
Knockout Kings on. Oh, well, that's on PS1 though.
Yeah.
But okay. Speaking of boxing, Dreamcast came in strong with Ready to Rumble.
Yeah, Ready to Rumble was good. And remember Ready to Rumble on the 64? It was trash.
I remember it was terrible.
It was so bad.
I think the PlayStation 1 tried it too.
Worminator, what's up? Thanks for the raid. Welcome into the conversation. Welcome. What is going on? That was bad. It was bad. But it was really good on Dreamcast. I have played it on Dreamcast. It was good. I cannot think of. There was a Dreamcast game I played. It was a shooter. It was a Codename. I don't know. I forget the name of it. Something like that. It was something along those lines. And it was a light gun game. I think it was pretty good.
Oh, light gun.
Yeah,
okay.
I think so.
But then they had some other interesting ones on the Dreamcast, like Blue Stinger.
Right.
I don't know if you've ever played that one. That was a weird game.
Yeah,
that was one of the ones that it was early in the life cycle. I remember buying it.
Sure.
And Ghost and I actually sitting in my apartment playing it and just completely cracking up because
that's awesome.
some of the dialogue in it was just so cringe.
It was just bad.
Yeah.
That's awesome. We're talking about kind of wrapping up our discussion of Dreamcast versus PlayStation 2 versus Xbox versus GameCube. Kind of like where we are, and so some of our favorite titles from it. It's funny. I think back at like, I played a lot of sports games back then on PlayStation 2, which is interesting because I play almost no sports games now, but I think a lot of it too was, and I think a lot of the Xbox PlayStation debate, I think having the console that your friends have is a big part of it. It's like, because you want to play together, and that's always kind of directed, like, really PlayStation 1, PlayStation 2, man, but then beyond that, I always knew people with 360s. I always knew people with Xbox One. So I became an Xbox person, and it's interesting that that's kind of, I think that's the case for a lot of people. You know, I think that kind of helps push your flow. And I mean, you know, there's other factors. Like a lot of people hate one controller, the other controller. You know, it's different.
Oh,
What
yeah.
about
Now with the Xbox, so you have an original Xbox right now, right?
I do.
Okay. Yeah, I actually do not.
Mm-hmm.
That's a lesser one of my trade regrets.
Sure.
Not as severe as your Xbox trade regret, but still, I wish I still kept it.
Yeah.
But do you have the original controller or the S controller?
I do. I have the Duke.
Okay.
Yep. Oh yeah.
I was gonna say, because I remember that I never had the Duke. I always had the S.
So it's funny, I didn't have the S or the Duke at first because it was later. The Mountain Dew console shipped with an S controller, and so I ended up getting a Duke controller later. I love the Duke controller. It fits these big ham hocks so well. It's the perfect controller for these ham hands, man. I'm telling you, it's so awesome. I love it. I love it today. In fact, I picked up the Hyperkin remake of it, the USB version. Really? Yeah, it is really cool. Hang on.
There we go. Show and tell.
Now we gotta grab it. Okay, have you seen this thing? I don't know if you can still hear me. Let's see. Okay, good. Okay, have you seen this thing go off? Oh my god, it is so awesome. I'm gonna plug it in and see if I can show you. I don't know if it'll work or not. Dude, it is so awesome.
Oh man.
I mean, it is the cleanest, and of course it's got the Halo, you know, the Halo shell. I will say I do have that Xbox. I have the Halo Special Edition Xbox. So at least I did that right. I just screwed
that
up
controller
the Mountain Dew.
was more intuitive for fighting games because you had the 6 buttons in a row. Whereas the S always they made the little tiny smaller white and black buttons.
Right. So let's see. When you plug it in, it does the boot screen from the original Xbox.
Oh, that is so cool.
Right. Like it does the flubber, right? And then I'm pretty sure you can do it. And yeah, it'll run it again. Run the original flubber from the Xbox. I know. It's just, dude.
Just seeing that intro brings me back.
Oh, it is so good. And it's awesome. But it is a scale, replica of the Duke. I highly recommend. I don't know if I'd pay the premium on it, you know, but dude, it's a cool controller. It's fun. It's a good time.
Oh, very nice. Very nice.
Oh, let's see.
So yeah,
I didn't want to cut you off on the. I didn't want to go crazy on the Duke. I love that Duke controller.
Oh no. The Duke. I mean, that's an amazing controller.
Totally.
Like that makes it even all the better. The one that you have.
Yeah, it's fun. And then playing Xbox games. If you've got them on PC, it's cool. It's a lot of fun.
Oh, nice.
It's pretty neat. It's fun to play on PC. It's a good time.
Oh, very nice.
But it kind of does. Yeah. It kind of does talk about. So a lot of people didn't like the Duke controller, you know, and so when the S controller came out, there were some people that didn't like. You know, I think this kind of leads right into our next sort of topic. The evolution of the mechanics of gaming. And you know, if you look at the original Xbox controller versus today's Xbox controller, they're very different. You know, it's like it's changed a bit, but the PlayStation controller hasn't really changed that much. I mean, it's kind of kept its same flow. You know what I mean? Like it's
right.
It's sort of
the layout has stayed the same.
Yeah.
It's just gotten some different ergonomics.
Right, for sure. And so like as gamers evolve, and you know, it's like we started off with 2 buttons. Well, we start off with 1 button, right? Like an Atari 1 button joystick, right? And then we got 2 buttons, you know, and then we got 4 buttons, and then you know, it's like, and now we've got paddles, and we got all this different. Your hands are doing all these different things. It's interesting how game mechanics have evolved from, like, my first controller was a Nintendo controller, you know, that 2 button, you know, and it's
Mhm.
like, and now, man, I've got paddles, I've got triggers, I'm doing all this stuff, and it's crazy to think. I never would have imagined back then, you know. It's like, and it's not just controllers too, like other stuff has changed, you know, like.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I mean the way the functions in games work now.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, well, you figure actually, I believe, like one of the mechanics, for instance, we were talking PlayStation 2 era, Xbox era, we had the introduction of QuickTime events.
Right,
Love
right.
it or love it or hate it.
Yeah. I always, so if you had the ability to skip through them, would you skip through them?
Probably, I would say so.
I never would. Everybody I play with is always like skip, skip, but
well,
I'm like,
after I've played through them, you know,
oh right,
at least
right.
once.
Okay, okay, good.
I would want to
good.
skip them like a cutscene.
Good. Yeah, it's like cutscenes now, and like the dude, like so many people I play with. Let's just skip it. I'm like, no, like,
yeah,
no, I'm here for the story, man.
so for anybody who's not sure what we mean by QuickTime events, those are where your perspective in the game changes, gives you more cinematic view, and something occurs that triggers you to say press X, press X, press X,
Right,
or press the A button, or and if you don't do it, your character either dies or you end up on a different path than you originally would have taken.
Right.
And
usually dies.
Usually died, yeah. But I believe what was it? Resident Evil 4 did that a lot. I believe had some QuickTime events.
Yeah,
with
for sure.
Leon and Ashley.
Oh yeah, tons of them.
Hey Ghost, how's it going?
So did Resident Evil 6. But I don't want to talk about Resident Evil 6.
Yeah, Resident Evil 6. Oh my gosh.
Running across
stupid boats.
Running across boats in the middle of a firefight. Oh, I will never play that game again. I'm glad we played it. I'm so glad we beat it, because I ain't going back, man. I ain't going back. There's no way. Yeah, it's like, but yeah, they kind of did start sort of in this generation. You know, it was that timed Tomb Raider. Didn't Tomb Raider have that kind of element built into it in the PlayStation 2? I don't remember it so much in PlayStation 1. But
no,
PlayStation
I don't
2,
think it happened until like PlayStation 1 had the ones that were more the numbered series.
Right.
But then when they got to the individual titles, that's when.
Yeah, then it was you kind of had that. Yeah, that it would like the camera would like choppy pan to the side, and you'd be like, you know, like, oh, and it's like X to punch, and you're like punching the snake in the mouth or something. Yes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
There we go. A PlayStation. God of War.
Yeah, right. Perfect.
God of War used QuickTime events.
Perfect.
Pretty often.
I will say I absolutely loved the God of War games. I really did.
I completely forgot to even mention that one earlier.
I know. For sure. And I played the tar out of them on PlayStation 2. Like, I loved them. They were great. They were. I gotta admit,
sure. I was late to the game for those. I didn't play those until the collection on PS3.
Right. I played 1 and 2. Never really had a 3, and then I still haven't played the new one. Still haven't even touched it. So yeah, I loved them though. Yeah. Oh man, being able to control it and so good.
Oh yeah,
so good.
Yeah. Those were some good games.
All right.
Back in that era. But yeah, I mean, so for control wise, it's like you had the QuickTime events. You had the fact that we've seen with the introduction of the second analog sticks now.
Right.
We no longer have hit this bumper to swing your camera this way.
Right.
Although I'll admit, some games still did not use the second stick like they should have.
This is true.
Kingdom Hearts was guilty of that.
Right.
Kingdom Hearts used the bumper still.
Yeah. Xbox Obi-Wan was the same way. Obi-Wan, because the other stick was the other stick was for the lightsaber. Right.
But yeah, tank controls for third person.
Yep.
Like the OG Resident Evil versus like Resident Evil 4.
Yeah, for sure. And then it's funny, Hyperbeast said the Wii Nunchuck is better than the Xbox and PlayStation controllers. I could throw something. That's crazy. That's madness. The Nunchuck was cool. it was a neat design for some things, but you know, you get the I saw this past weekend the Resident Evil the one that came out on Wii that had the gun and the knife nunchuck, you know, where it looked like
Oh,
Resident
really?
Evil stuff. Yeah, I saw
wow.
that. I saw it, and it was like I don't, not a nunchuck fan. Like there were some cool games on the Wii, and I loved the Wii and the controls, but I never really liked it felt like they took the Nintendo 64 controller and they chopped it in half and spread it apart. I don't know. It's like
that's a very accurate description.
Yeah, it's like wait a minute, you know what's going on here? You know, it was crazy. It was but it was, I will say, we didn't have another controller like that. Motion controls became this thing, and now every controller has a gyro, an accelerometer, or something in it to give you that sense, you know. And so it did change the game, you know, for sure.
Yeah.
Oh
absolutely.
yeah, Ghost. That's right. The chainsaw controller was awesome. I remember the chainsaw controller. That was sweet. That was really cool. But
and
yeah,
you figure too, the PlayStation 2 era, that was the birth of the plastic instruments.
Right.
Guitar Hero.
God, you had plastic all over your house. You had golf clubs and friggin' guns and this and that. And, they're awful.
Yeah.
It was so bad.
Oh yeah.
It was so bad. But yeah, the Link training gun, Link's crossbow trainer. That was it. That gun was so weird. It like put the trigger up front, and it was very strange.
Oh, wow.
Very strange. But the guns where you just plug in the Wiimote, the single light guns, those are really cool. In fact, there's a lot of ways that you can port that to play light gun games on PC. Put a Wii bar up on PC, and yeah, you can actually sit there and play, calibrate it. And when I build arcades for people, I use Wiimotes a lot to do that, to do the light gun games, and they're pretty functional. It's kind of cool. So it's a cool controller. It's definitely I think the Wii was such a successful console because of it. You know, like I think if the Wii had a GameCube style controller, it's not as popular as what it was.
Right.
I think the motion controls, the new concept of gaming, this interactive, you know, style, it was cool. It was good.
Yeah.
And,
oh no, I was saying now since I mean we've stepped away from the Dreamcast, PS2, Xbox, GameCube era, and we're just talking, you know, mechanics in general and controllers. How about PS3 with their pressure sensitive square, triangle, circle, cross?
Yeah, that's true.
The fact that you can press them at harder harder impacts.
Yeah, for sure. And I think that's another thing that's kind of going to be built in.
And they dropped it. Like it was only on, I believe it was only on their 6-axis controller.
Right. And then they do they do it on the 4? Do they continue it on PlayStation 4?
I don't believe so.
Wow, that's crazy. So. I feel like they definitely do that on Xbox on the triggers for sure.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know if they do on the standard buttons. I don't think they do.
Yeah, I think it was there were only a handful of PlayStation, like Sony games that took advantage of them too.
Wow, that's interesting.
But yeah, sure enough, they had I don't know what would you call that? Pressure sensors.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Wow, that's pretty interesting. Yeah, I don't know. I think I'm curious to see how VR and things like that change. You know, how is that going to morph into the new style of gaming and controls and you know, like tactile. Like when are we going to get a real Power Glove? You know, not the original Power Glove, but like, you know, like a glove that is actually your controller, and you know. Like that'll be
Thanks for hanging out, Army Mike.
Yeah, have an awesome night, Mike, for sure. But that'll be nuts, you know, like that'll be really cool to see.
Yeah, some Ready Player One type of gear.
Yeah, right. Yeah, like full tactile immersion type. Man, that'd be awesome. Room Hatter, welcome. Thanks for hanging out.
I would be willing to bet that in our lifetime we will probably see something like that.
Yeah. I
think
agree.
We will.
I agree.
It's just the getting to realize the technology to do it. They have the ideas.
Yeah.
But
yeah, I think so. I think that we're still, so it's like you know, tablet computing and laptop. Like, I think there's always going to be a need for that keyboard. You know, there's always going to be a need for that laptop, you know. So I don't know. Can they be similar and different? I think so. I think VR can stand on its own. I think the Wii proved it. You know, I think everyone woke up when the Wii started doing it. It was like, wow, this is, man, that's really good. You know, so
yeah, with motion track, yep, all your accelerometers and gyros, yeah. So,
okay,
yeah.
I'm gonna tell you right now. Everybody got upset at this guy for the unpopular opinion of the week last week, and I'm here to tell you, this week I didn't pick the unpopular opinion.
It's my unpopular opinion this time.
It's that guy. That's right. That's right.
So I'm going to say this once, and we're going to say it loud for all the people in the back. The Souls games are not good games. And I use that term specifically. They're not good games.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll
let it stand. They have their merit to certain people.
I will not disagree.
But as a game, nope.
They are not fun. They are not enjoyable. They do nothing to bring me into the fold, to make me want to. No. Yeah, I've played, I'd say 30 minutes, and I don't even think I made it 30 minutes in, and I just like the Dark Souls games.
Yeah, Dark Souls, Bloodborne, Demon Souls.
Right.
Yeah.
All of those style games are just games that intentionally make themselves difficult, right? As this,
for the sake of difficulty.
Yeah, just to be difficult.
Nothing more.
Right. They can be beautiful, they can be amazing, they have a great storyline. If your game is too difficult to play, I'm not going to play it. Like, I don't work all day to come home and unwind to a game I want to smash my TV with, you know, right? Like, and right. I don't understand this group of people. I don't think it's a large group. I don't understand this group of people that thinks, well, I play nothing but these games, these difficult, these, you know, and it's like, and the fact that you cannot choose to play a lesser difficulty, that's not right to me.
Right.
I don't like that.
Right. I think that's one of my biggest issues with it, is that they keep it behind that gate of, you're going to play it at this punishing difficulty, or you're not going to even get to play this game. Right.
Yeah, and that should. I'll give you a good example. So I was talking earlier about Star Wars, Last Jedi,
or Fallen Order.
Fallen Order. Thank you. Fallen Order. Thank you. So Hyper Beams, there's a game. I never beat it, and usually when I start a game, I start it on whatever normal difficulty. I don't increase it. I don't reduce it. But I did reduce that one down, because even at the regular difficulty, I found myself getting frustrated at parts. Like, because I want to play the game for the storyline. Like, I want to enjoy the storyline. And I will say, the game wasn't that difficult. It's not a difficult game. It got to points where if I have to do the same thing 3 times, I'm done. Like I want to get past it and move on. I'll say other games that are like that. The newer Tomb Raider games that have come out, the puzzle solving aspect. Well, so I enjoy the puzzle solving aspect. And but it gets to the point where, and not, it only happened once, but there's a point where you run around and you are looking to trigger this one thing, And what it did is it triggered a sequence where you had to jump and get this and do all this. My game was messed up, so where it didn't trigger that sequence, and I ran around for an hour looking for this thing.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay.
And
Okay.
so,
not the difficulty so
yeah,
much.
no. I don't find Tomb Raider is difficult, but like when it's a game where you have to do a certain series of things, that killed it for me. That killed the whole game for me. And it was like, and it is nothing to do with the development of the game, the how difficult or easy it was. It's just because I had a glitch, I've lost it. I'm like, oh, I got so mad at like, man, that sucked. It was the worst. But like even with retro, dude, I'm Game Genie. If I play a game a handful of times and I can't beat it and I want to beat it, I want to see how it turns out, I'm gonna throw the Game Genie in. I play video games to enjoy the video games. And there's some games where I'm like, oh, I'm gonna beat this, and I've beaten tons of games and enjoyed it. But there's some of those games, Barbie on the NES, I always talk about. That's one of the most difficult Nintendo games. It is freaking nuts. I want you to try it one day. I really want you to play it on stream.
I haven't played it on stream, but I played it as a kid. My sister actually owned it.
Oh, did you beat it?
Nope.
Oh my god, the last level, the floors are going and everything kills you, and the mechanics in it are horrible. Like the jump doesn't really work, and that game is just it is so difficult. My daughter really wanted to beat it, so I'm like, as a dad, I'm like, I have to do this, and we Game Genied it, and we beat it. We beat the tar out of it. It was awesome, but that is tough, man. That is a really tough game.
Oh yeah. Yeah, and I guess back with Souls and stuff, with the Dark Souls games, and Dark Souls just turned me off the concept in general. My experience really has been my attempt at Demon Souls, because with my PS5, I'm like, well, I want a PS5 exclusive game. The only one that came out with it at launch was Demon Souls remake.
Right.
So blind bought it, and I'm like, cool. Let me play this.
Right.
I can't even say, like, okay, the difficulty being unforgiving, but at the same time, I don't appreciate the combo of it's unforgiving difficulty plus, oh, you died, you're all the way back at the beginning.
Yeah.
And you got to go back through it all and hope you make it back to where you were.
Yeah.
I feel Demon Souls and the Souls games, Dark Souls, I guess, they do have checkpoints, because you get, what is it, like bonfire or campfires or whatever it is. See, I haven't even played those ones.
Yeah.
But to know what they were called, but they do get checkpoints. Demon Souls was the first game of that series, I guess you would call it, and there is no checkpoints.
Yeah, that's
so. You're basically, you die, you lost all your items you've used to heal yourself that entire time that you farmed for.
Yeah.
And then you got to start at the very beginning.
Yeah.
Well, you're right, Ghost. Yeah, die and start over. But there's a lot shorter, like, because it's still die and start over. It's die and start over for that level. Right. And the level in a retro game is a lot shorter than your path from entering into that, entering into that realm for that level of Demon Souls to the point where you get to the boss.
Right. Even games that you couldn't save, it was, it'd give you passwords, it'd give you some way to start, and not all games, but the enjoyable ones did. The games that I would put time into trying to beat, and then, but before that, I think the objective of playing video games, some point there, converted from beating a game, converted from getting a high score, to beating a game, to like finishing a game, and so it's like at some point we had this switch of, why are you playing a game? What is your objective? And it went from, man, I ate the most pellets. I got to level 99 of Tetris. It went from just this high score type accomplishment thing to this, I need to finish this. I need to beat this boss. I need to rescue the princess. I need,
Right.
like there was an objective to it. And if you create an objective based game and do not give the player an opportunity to play it at the level they want to play, you're wasting your time. I'm not going to play it. I know a lot of people aren't going to play it. Some people are. There's some of those people that want to play through that game because they want to go to work or school or whatever and be like, I beat it. Yes, I beat it. And I'm going to look at that person. I'll be like, wow, I played for 20 minutes and I burned it. I lit it on fire and it's dead to me. I'll never again. And it's a shame. I don't understand the mentality of a publisher that will not give an opportunity, because I'm a casual gamer. I want to relax. I want to enjoy a game. And especially in story-based games, I want to know the story, Fallen Order, I want to know the story. I want to enjoy the story. And it's so easy for me to just turn the difficulty down to easy. And it's still challenging. There's still puzzles to figure out. There's still things to do. But I'm not trying to figure out a puzzle while I'm getting shot by 14 people at the same time.
And have to repeat that scenario 15 times.
Right. And now that I've solved this, I got to go all the way back. It's awful.
And that probably is my biggest gripe with like Demon Souls is it's not even the difficulty, but it's the, okay, you didn't kill him this time. Play the whole level again just for the chance to try to fight him again.
Right. To maybe get back to that point. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
How, if there were some sort of checkpoint system, keep the difficulty where it is.
Sure.
But the repetition of, I have been through this level 15 times.
Yeah.
I'm over it.
Right. There's no way.
But like you said, with the difficulties though, is we're not saying change the difficulty of the game. Just give the option of a different difficulty. Change it. I mean, you don't even have to change much in the way of, okay, reduce the number of enemies, reduce this, reduce that. Just make it so your health is double.
Right. You can take more hits before dying.
Exactly. Your health decreases at half the rate.
Right. And I think other games have done that, so much. Like it's a pretty standard thing in games for a publisher to do something like that. I like they've lost me. I'm never going to play one of their games. Like 3 years from now, when another one comes out, it's not even on my radar. I don't care. Like I'm not going to touch it. I don't need the frustration in my life. I got plenty of games I haven't played, like we talked about earlier. You know what I'm saying? Like there's tons, So it's like, no, I understand that that's an unpopular opinion, and I understand that people feel like, well, that game wasn't built for you, so move on, and that's fine. But I don't understand how a game like that, like, okay.
And we do stand by that this is indeed our opinion. We're by no means the authority saying that those games are not. No.
I get it. And
it's in our opinion.
Games are made for different people, and I don't have a problem with rewarding someone for beating a game at a higher difficulty. I think it's really cool when I hear about someone, even when you beat a retro game, that it's like, wow, that's really tough. Dude, the Mega Man's the other day was like, wow, that was, dude, with all the lag and the stuff you're doing with it, man, I'd have thrown the controller a long time ago, like
those were oddly tough.
Yeah, right. But it's like, yeah, that's like, wow, dude, that was awesome. That was really cool, but I think the way Xbox and PlayStation, achievements and things like that, those are really neat. That's kind of a cool thing to have, but you can't take away an experience. And again, my opinion, you're selling yourself short as a game producer if you're taking away an experience from someone because they choose a more casual playthrough. Let them experience the story, let them play the game. Look, if I want something really difficult, I'm gonna go play multiplayer. I'm gonna go play against people out there in the world that are 12 years old and they got 40 hours a week to play video games and they destroy me on Call of Duty. It's like, if I want that, if I want that competitiveness, I'll go do it. But story-based driven games, I'm here for the story. I want to get immersed in it. I want to become the character, and you're not letting me do that when you have that difficulty. It's just not good.
Good point.
It's not good.
Good point, Ghost. Yeah, with Hellblade, you're right. Hellblade had had some questionable events that happen in the game to where you better learn how to do this because you're going to die and you die.
Right.
And then
Right.
you got to start over and still try to figure it out yourself.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
No, you're absolutely right. Yeah, there are definitely elements of that spread throughout all gaming. I mean, they all have their moments, but it's, to me, like, that's where my issue comes, is it's a game built almost around that.
Right.
It's what
Right.
gets me. But,
Yeah.
yep.
Yeah. It's painful. Painful.
Yep.
Painful.
So that is my unpopular opinion for the week.
I think it's a good one too. It's a good one.
Yeah.
One of these weeks we're
I know
gonna
I'm
come
not
up.
alone.
Yeah, no, for sure. One week I'm excited for the week we come up with one we don't agree on. That'll be good. I'm excited for that
That'll
one.
give us a good
That'll be
debate.
good. But so far, I feel like we're pretty much on the same page with them.
I think that's because we're both approaching it as we're casual gamers.
Yeah, it's like, man, so there's
We're
enough stress in this
avid
world.
gamers, but we prefer to play the games casually.
Yeah, exactly. I just want to cruise through it. But yeah, dude, I'll stand behind Game Genie. I love Game Genie. I love being able to just, yeah. But yeah, 100%. I think those games they might have a place somewhere, but not in my game room. None of my consoles. That's for sure. Well, I'll tell you. So we're kind of at about 2.5 hours. I'm okay with cutting here if you want to. If you want to press on, totally up to you.
I'm all for the conversation. I'm having a good
Yeah,
time tonight.
yeah,
This
good.
is good.
Okay,
Yeah.
excellent. Because so one of the things we were going to talk about, and somebody was talking about earlier, talking about I think it was somebody was talking about a game, and I was thinking, oh, that's a good one to bring up. As we get down, like so talking about like licensed games, like games that are from IPs like movies, cartoons, TV shows, things like that. We got Mortal Kombat out, right? Mortal Kombat was like 3 a.m. this morning. Have you watched it yet?
No, that's my plan for tomorrow.
I've seen some mixed reviews. I'm kind of surprised.
I have too.
Yeah, I'm really surprised that
I've heard one of the other streamers that I follow, he basically posted on Twitter, he said, watch Mortal Kombat. All I could say is one word: interesting. And with those upside down smiley faces, like to basically be like confusion.
Wow, really?
Because and that's kind of what I'm getting. It's like completely not what people expected.
Huh. That's interesting. I feel like too, and I was talking to a buddy about this earlier. If you're gonna give me, and I would totally expect others to feel the same way. If you're gonna give me an opinion of a movie, I need to know another movie that we've both seen, and I need to know your opinion of that, right? Because so the original Mortal Kombat movie, I liked it. I liked the first one. I didn't think it was a bad movie. I think people that I can understand people today going back and watching movies from the 90s specifically. It was that Bruckheimer explosions and everything had to be just so over the top, and I think I understand where they kind of maybe not, but I'm telling you, if you like watching a Michael Bay movie, thank Jerry Bruckheimer, because he paved the way for Michael Bay and then all the Transformers and all the magic. Okay, I'm telling you right now, okay, Jerry Bruckheimer was the guy in the 90s, okay? Like any action movie, any over the top, it was a Bruckheimer film, okay? And so if people knock my 90s movies, I get upset, like you listen up. You kids don't even know. Get off my lawn. But whatever, okay? So I'm telling you, I enjoyed the first Mortal Kombat movie. I thought it was great. I thought it was a cool action flick, just it.
I remember going to the theater to see it.
Yeah, it was good. It was cool. It's so many people knocking on it. So I wonder how. Yeah, I know. I wonder how, if someone if you have negative thoughts of the old one and you have negative thoughts of the new one, maybe I'm going to enjoy the new one. I don't know. I haven't seen it either, by the way. So
yeah. That's my plan for tomorrow.
Yeah.
But you figure though that I think that we can have a whole topic about that. I feel for a future show is just narrowing it down of the movies based on video games.
Oh yeah.
And video games based on movies.
Sure,
as
sure.
its own combo.
Yeah, that's true. That's a really good one, because I think there's some really good ones.
A lot of good ground to cover, and a lot of
rough ones
ground.
too. A lot of rough ones too. And it might surprise you, some of the ones that I'm kind of like. I'll tell you right now, the Super Mario Brothers movie, I didn't think it was horrible. I thought it was different. I thought it was unique.
Exactly. It's more of, and it's not necessarily saying we want to do negative reviews, but it's more of comparative of
right
the movie versus the source material, or the game versus the movie's source material.
Yeah, you have to
how well did they translate?
Right,
and
you got to put yourself in the time frame
that's
too. Like you can't judge a movie that was made in the 90s. Or even like the early 2000s when CGI was just coming on. Dude, CGI was rough, like Scorpion King. Do we remember The Rock as a scorpion? It was not good. You know what I'm saying? And then you can't judge those with movies that were made, today. It's tough to do that. But yeah, I like that. We'll jump into that. But so
we'll take the movies section and do that then.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah, specifically today though. Yeah.
Yeah, for now, I mean, we would figure licensed games as far as the other end of the spectrum, like based off cartoons and comic books.
Right.
So, you have things from all the Capcom titles that are like the Disney afternoon games.
Sure.
DuckTales, all that sort of stuff.
Yep.
But then you have the comic books that are like Ninja Turtles and, Captain America and the Avengers. Yep. And I'm only even speaking of retro.
Yeah. Right.
Coming all the way up to current, like you were saying about the new Avengers game.
Yeah, for sure. The new Avengers game was one that, and I haven't played a ton of it. I tried it. I do want to play it. I'm a huge Avengers fan. I love my whole wall here is nothing but it's interesting too to see, how those games, like with the licensing stuff, like even going back to talking about like console exclusive stuff, like. Are we going to get to the point where some titles are console exclusive, like the Spider-Man game on PlayStation 4, right?
Yeah.
Like, dude, man, beautiful, amazing game. I have a PlayStation 4. I didn't play it, and it's like, and I love Marvel. I would have totally played a Spider-Man game. Like, it looks so fluid and so good. So, I don't know. Is it kind of weird that, is it kind of strange that you see some games like, okay, so we've had Avengers and X-Men games on consoles forever, right? Like we've had oh gosh,
I mean, all the way back to NES even had Wolverine.
Yeah, right. Oh yeah, LJN. Let's
basically king of the licensed games, LGN, as far as how many they put out.
That's true, man. It seemed like every single one of their games was from an IP, from a movie, from a TV show, and but it's like, at what point? And then think about the Lego games, like the Lego Star Wars, Lego. Yeah, so there was like a twist on a game that was a movie with toys. It's crazy because now you have Lego licensing, you've got Star Wars licensing, you've got, it's crazy, right? It's
right, and those and I feel like with licensed games, for instance, that's one of the. Actually, I actually didn't put that topic down as a sub point, but licensed games, they're a product of their moment of release, but those licenses are going to dry up.
Yeah.
We're not going to see. I think it would be really tough for us to see all games that were licensed ever get a re-release on later systems.
That's true.
That's true. I mean, I have this, for instance. For my PS4, I have.
Oh yeah, right.
Mutants in Manhattan.
Right.
Done. License gone.
Yeah.
Cannot get it digitally.
That's crazy.
And it's that type of stuff that with licensed games, I feel is a really sensitive area for, especially when you churn out a good one, because that was actually a really fun game.
Yeah.
The same goes for I don't know if it was the same developers. I think it was they did the Transformers Devastation, where it
that's
looked
right.
like the like the G1.
That's right.
Transformers.
That's right.
And And those, it's like all these licenses, it's like
Yeah.
we're not going to see the
No.
possibility of like re-releases, remasters, collections, or
Right.
anything like that.
Right. Even when you get into like how many Xbox games have they not done backwards compatibility on because they can't get those
Right.
licenses. They can't. So now you're not, people like to make villains out of the Microsoft and Sony, but it's not always their fault that you can't have these games back, and it's like it's
Right.
interesting.
And oddly too, licensed games, okay, so they're based on IPs, but at the same, even the ones who just contain soundtracks,
Right.
you won't see the re-release
Yeah.
because one of the ones that I have is probably not over here because it's at my Xbox One or at my Xbox 360. I mean, is a Lollipop Chainsaw.
Right.
Because of that soundtrack, that game has not seen anything but the 360 and PS3
Yeah.
original discs, and that's it.
And then have you seen games where they've changed music in it too because a license this or that has changed? Like I'm trying to think. There was I think it was FIFA.
Oh, Minfan, thank you for the raid. Thank you so much.
Sweet.
Welcome, Raiders.
Whoop, whoop. So like, yeah, what about like, if like there were for a while the EA games were putting in pretty decent music, Crazy Taxi with Offspring, right? Like
Exactly.
right? Like so now you're getting
exactly
legitimate real music that's published out there and it's like, man, that's crazy.
And it's one of those too. They finally brought Crazy Taxi over,
right.
but because they stripped the soundtrack.
Yeah, because none of the music.
Gave it yeah.
Yep, none of the music, which is a bummer because that was one of the best part. Playing in a sit-in Crazy Taxi arcade. If you've never done it, totally worth it. Yeah. Like the music just blaring and you just so good.
Bad Religion.
Oh yeah, so good, man. It was good.
Bad Religion, right?
Right.
That's who the other band was. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah. For me, it was always Offspring though.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, perfect. Perfect. Yeah. Tony Hawk. Yep.
Yeah.
Perfect example. Perfect example. Everyone was so excited when the game was released, and the music it wasn't there. It wasn't the same. It just great example. 100%. Yeah. Great example.
But I mean, and then even at the bigger to where soundtracks eventually they could swap out or eliminate.
Sure.
But when your characters in the game or settings are actual licensed properties.
Right. Are we going to get to this point where you're playing a game and someone walks in there blurred out, right? Like,
right.
Yeah, right. It's like, well, you're playing the original Star Wars, right? But Mandalorian is now owned by Disney. So when the Mandalorian walks in, he's just blurred out, or like a silhouette or something, right?
Thanks for the follow, Edward Bova. I appreciate it.
Are we getting there? Are we really gonna?
Right, like, because I mean, for my train of thought just derailed for a second there. With the licensed games though, you have the characters and the settings. For instance, they did the one that comes to mind is the Lion King Aladdin double pack.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah,
they did not have both versions of Aladdin on it.
Right, that's true.
They were completely different games.
That's true.
And they did not have both versions because that was a weird one because Aladdin obviously was Disney's property.
Right.
They signed off on it.
Right.
But one of them was made by Capcom, one of them was made by Virgin.
Yeah, crazy. Yeah.
And so then you have the sub-company licensings.
Yeah, exactly. And then because you have like developers and publishers and then And then beyond that, like what console are they gonna like? Because a lot of the Disney games went to like PlayStation 1, right? There were tons of and good games too. Like I like the Disney games on PlayStation 1 for the most part, but it's interesting. Like they didn't really go further than that. It was just, man, that's weird. And so kind of tied in with it. You've got this thing now in newer games like Call of Duties and stuff like that. They're not giving exclusive content to one console or another, right? But this console's getting it weeks early, or this console's getting it weeks early. So there was one thing with one of the latest Call of Duty, a full mode of the game, like a playable mode of the game, for 1 year was locked up, and it was a
Oh, wow.
PlayStation exclusive thing, you know. And then by the time it unlocks for Xbox, we've all moved on to the next game, you know. It's like
Right.
these types of deals and things like that. It's like who's benefiting from that, you know? Like I don't, and
Right.
it goes back. It's the same thing when you're talking about licensing games, talking about like movie theaters and their licensing agreements they have to do with a studio.
Right.
And it's just it sucks is what it does. Like it's just crap, man. Like I can't stand. And I understand you want the artist to be paid for their work, you know, and I'm not saying that, like they deserve it, but dude, just because the studio, you know, I don't know, man. I hate it. I really do. I think the people who suffer for is us, you know, like we're the ones that don't get new and intriguing things that you know, we can't play, you know, we can't check out. We'll never get to enjoy remastered, redone. Like there were some great games back then, and it just sucks, man. It's rough.
Yeah, Rodova. Yeah, on the memes about the exclusivity. Yeah, you're right. Exactly. They come out first on those consoles and then eventually come out on Nintendo Switch.
Yeah, right.
Causing you and selling it full price.
It's crazy. Madness.
But yeah, I mean, yeah, with these licensed games though, it's like there's so many good games that, I mean, how cool would it be to see, like, I mean, some of these NES games. Okay, we mentioned Switch. You have the NES Online on the Switch, but there are so many games that will never see the light of day on there,
right?
Because of the licenses.
Yep.
Like you'd have on the NES. I mean, games ranging from that, in my opinion, are good, like Nightmare on Elm Street.
Yeah.
Which is a weird licensed game for a kid's system.
Right.
Like, here's an R-rated horror film.
Yeah.
But I mean, that'll never see the light of day.
No.
On anything ever again.
Nope. Definitely not.
The original Ninja Turtles game, that's locked onto the NES.
Yep.
And we'll never see that anywhere either.
Right. For sure.
But yeah, and there's tons of superhero ones.
Yeah. We've got
absolutely
a
ton. That's probably one of the biggest IPs, I would say, for gaming.
In fact, wasn't Punisher on NES? Wasn't that LJN also?
I think it was.
Yeah, I think so.
It was.
I think so. God, man, they really did. That was their goal. They were going to go out and get them, and that's crazy. But yeah, there's so many games. The Punisher game I was talking about earlier on original Xbox. That's another one. Like you won't see it again. And it was a fun game. It was an enjoyable game. I liked it.
Yeah. I remember playing I think it was on 360, but Wolverine.
Yeah.
The Wolverine.
Yep.
Like I remember that was weird because the movie was PG-13.
Right.
The game was rated mature for blood, gore, and language.
Right.
So
exactly.
The game was worse than the movie it was based off of.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, you get into, and I think now superheroes is a big thing, obviously. Like we have so many movies, TV shows, like it is the thing. Like every third movie that comes out is a superhero movie, you know, and it's and now
we've got, do well.
Yeah,
and they do really well.
It's like, man, it's dude, these the comic book movies have sort of, I wish video game movies would do that, would fall into
Start
it, you know, and like
like
give us a universe of video games, like dude, like man, that was the best part, like Ready Player One. Is like for me seeing all the universe is sort of, it's like so awesome. But yeah, I think licensing in general, I understand it's necessary. I hate it. Like I wish it would go away. I wish people, when they made their games with, you know, because it goes even further now, you know, can we stream these games? Are we allowed to stream them? Are we allowed to, like, because, you know, it gets weird. You get into these complex laws, and it's a shame. I don't know. I think it clouds. I think it kind of clouds things. I think it makes things just, it's gross. I hate it.
Yeah,
I really do.
Yeah, I mean, it prevents future generations from being able to experience these.
Yep. Unless you get the console and a TV to run it, and right. And it's expensive and difficult to do, and like you shouldn't have to do it. And I'm willing to bet that the creators that created the game, the people that actually did the work, hate it too. I'm willing to bet they would much rather give it to the world. They would love the world to see their work, you know, but it's not them that's benefiting from it. It's not, it's them, it's the studios, it's their publishers, it's their, you know,
tied up with the red tape.
I hate it. I really do.
Yeah, their baby that they created is just locked down because of ownership copyrights.
Yeah.
Because the studio who oversees them.
Yep. Just a game nerd. No, I wouldn't say there's right now today, streaming laws give us the opportunity to play the games, but I will tell you there has been a lot of talk lately of studios and developers wanting a cut from streamer revenue. Obviously not someone at our level, but some of these people that are making hundreds of thousands of dollars a month, studios are seeing that. They're seeing their game being played and them making money on it, and they're like, wow, we got to get a cut of that, you know. And that's the mentality. It's all about money. When you talk about licensing, when you talk about, it's not to protect the artist, it's not to protect the creative work or the IP. It's all about making money for publishers and studios, because they had enough money to become EA, become Activision, become whoever, you know. Now they're the ones that are really, and it's a shame. It really is. It's just awful.
No, you're absolutely right, Ninfan. That's why we need more to support it.
Yeah, for sure. Because it's just the more stranglehold that they get on, the more this stuff we'll see. And you know, you think it doesn't really get to your level, but dude, it does. It's we're seeing it right now. We're seeing it affect. You know, it's a shame the stuff we miss out on.
Right. Everyone's experiencing some effect of this.
Yeah, right. And whether they know it or not, it's like, God, you have to, you absolutely have to think that, you know, it's greed. It really is. It's a shame. It really is.
But
yeah, that's funny. Just a game nerd with the NFL player thing. That's absolutely true. College players. Grant Hill went to Duke, which I'm a Carolina fan, so boo Duke, but whatever. But Grant Hill went to Duke University. Grant Hill was there on a scholarship. Grant Hill was broke, man. He had nothing. While he played for Duke, he would walk from Class A to Class B and look up at a billboard with him playing for the McDonald's All-American team. And he used to sit there and look at it and think, gosh, you know, I can't even afford to buy a McDonald's cheeseburger. And here they are. They've got me on their billboard. They've got me on their, you know. And yeah, obviously, Grant Hill did fine, you know, right? He made it, you know what I'm saying? But how many kids don't? How many kids, you know, and it's like, and that's a whole nother, I know we've gone. But, dude, it's greedy corporations and they're, yeah.
And yeah, they want to keep everything under their thumb.
Yep, 100%. Yep, and as long as they do, but try to be a game developer, try to write a video game and not have one of these guys, not have they monopolize the industry. Yeah, then you're an indie game, you know, and you'll get some traction. And if it's a good game, it's a good game, and it'll be great. It'll never be as big as Call of Duty. Never, not in a million years, you know. And
you'll never hit Uncharted or God of War territory.
Yeah, exactly. It'll never happen. And your game could be amazing. It could be the best game ever. And honestly, if it is that, one of those guys is going to come try to buy it from me anyway. Don't sell. Don't do it.
Yep. Stay strong.
Yeah, that's right. Fight the good fight.
But yeah, so I mean, with all these licensed games though, like that we were talking about, that even the ones that clearly we'll never see again, they're stuck in the retro world. Like, what are some of your favorites?
I really did like the I liked X-Men Legends. A lot of people didn't, but yeah, I liked X-Men Legends with on PlayStation 2. I played it on. I enjoyed that one. I love the Lego games, the Star Wars games. Some of my favorite Star Wars games were the Super Nintendo ones. Super Star Wars, Super Empire Strikes Back.
I'm so terrible at this.
Oh man, they were tough, but I liked them. Man, I enjoyed them. Man, I had a good time playing them. It was, you know, back in the day, but I really liked those too. So Obi-Wan I've already talked about. I love Obi-Wan. That's just a near and dear. And Punisher, gosh, I feel like every game I talk about is one of these licensed games. Crazy, right? But
isn't it? I mean, it's like, and these are all ones that will not move forward.
never get to play again. And like, how sad is it that a game like Obi-Wan, you know, isn't gonna come out when we've got an Obi-Wan TV series about to drop? Like, how awesome would it be to have on Steam some remastered version or anything, you know, like
because that, you figure that licensing, it's probably because that was when it was still just Lucas.
Yep, yeah, it was LucasArts back then.
The games were LucasArts division,
right.
So it was that. So it was pre-Disney ownership. So Disney owns it, but it was developed and, you know, released under other studios though too. So somebody somewhere still has a hand in it that can even stop Disney from re-releasing it.
Yep. And they were like, no, not that.
It's crazy. Oh, Star Wars Pod Racer on the 64.
Yeah, old Pod Racer. Yep. Shadows of the Empire on 64. There you go.
Oh, yeah.
There's a 64 game I enjoyed. Everybody write it down. I actually enjoyed. Yeah, Rogue Squadron was great.
I like Rogue Squadron.
Yeah, let's go. So yeah, give me some of yours. What were some of yours?
I mean, I got to go back to, for me, it's pretty much anything Ninja Turtles.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I mean, especially the NES era.
Yeah,
that full trilogy on the NES. I could just play over and over and over.
So good. Oh yeah, for sure.
But then there were some different ones. Like, you figure through like the 16-bit era, like you had stuff like well, then here we are into superheroes, like Maximum Carnage.
Oh yeah, that was a good one. Yeah,
I always enjoyed that. And then like on Sega Genesis, I was hooked on the Aladdin game. I used to love the Aladdin game.
Yeah, it was so good. It was a really good. I loved the Genesis Disney games. Most of them were pretty good. Some were difficult. Lion King was hard, but it was a good game. It was good. Yeah, that'd be a cool stream. Some Disney Genesis games or something. Yeah, that'd be kind of cool.
Oh yeah, yeah. There's some in there that I haven't played too. Like, you know, license wise, that like the Beauty and the Beast. What is it, Beasts?
Oh yeah,
something.
that's
and
right.
Like, there were like two games, I thought.
Yeah. Oh, how about Goof Troop?
there's a gem. And there's an example back to our previous topic.
Right.
How many times do we have to repeat this?
Oh my god. Yeah, it's like, I guess we'll start the game over.
Yep.
Awesome. Yay.
And we did a few times, and then I think we hit our limit for that.
And never beat it. Never beat it.
Yes.
So there you go.
Final boss.
Right.
Never beat it. But yeah, I mean, there's definitely some good stuff back there.
Funny too. It's funny too how this transfers over. So like, we went to Universal this past week. Disney owns all the Marvel stuff and everything. Disney also has Simpsons on Disney Plus, right? Well, there's a Simpsons ride at Universal. There's a Spider-Man ride at Universal. There's a, it's like there's so much like crossover. It's crazy.
And because of licensed tie-ups.
Right. And so you gotta wonder if there's like a Disney guy with the ears on, and then there's a guy with like a Harry Potter hat on, and they're just sitting at a big table, and they're like, okay, I will trade you Spider-Man for Men in Black, like
they're basically sitting there with their trading cards, like baseball cards.
Right.
Oh, I'll give you rookie Harry Potter.
Yeah, that's right. Okay, if you want an Incredible Hulk roller coaster, that's fine, but I want a Harry Potter ride. It's like, it's crazy. Right. Yeah, that's right. We'll trade nothing. It's the Disney draft. We'll trade nothing on Draga. Like, man, we ain't trading nothing. No, man, it's nuts. It's like, how do they work this stuff out? And then like, think about like with Sony and Marvel and Spider-Man, like how many movies did Marvel want to put Spider-Man in, and they couldn't do it because of a deal that was made pre-Disney, right? That transferred over. It's madness. It's licensing sucks. It's crap. But it's I think it's becoming more of a big thing because of the superhero stuff. I really do. I think that's really what's driving it, because of how popular Marvel Studios has become, their cinematic universe, and
Right. And I don't think I think originally everyone thought, okay, the superhero fad's going to burn out quick.
Right.
I was kind of a believer of that myself for a little while there. I'm like, okay, this is gonna we're getting 3 movies this year. I'm like, that's a lot.
Right. I remember sitting down watching the first Iron Man, right, when it came out in the theater. I was like, wow, this is great. Literally thought that was it. You know, we've seen these movies. We've seen Punisher with Dolph Lundgren. Right. We've seen Punisher with Thomas Jane, right? Which I loved the Thomas Jane Punisher, by the way. Like, absolutely loved it. I liked it. I thought it was great. The next one,
and good old Kevin Nash in it.
Yeah,
as the one villain in his red and white striped shirt.
Yes. So, man, it's crazy to think how far. Like, no other series has ever taken the names and the titles and the big screen and the small screen and just mashed it all together like they have, for sure. Like, it's amazing what they've done.
They are rightful in naming it the Marvel Cinematic Universe, right? Because it is indeed all encompassing.
I absolutely loved. So I love everything Marvel. I love the movies. I haven't seen a movie that I don't like. Like, there's movies I didn't care for as much, but I would sit down and watch them all right now. Like, I am a fanatic about it. The Thanos Infinity Gauntlet series of comics was one of the first comic book series that I really actively collected as a kid. So seeing it in the big screen, I loved it. I was just so in love. And I think another big thing that they did was their sort of transfer to the TV show realm too. Like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I liked Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. started off rough though. Like, I don't think it was until what was the first movie that I think it was Thor was the first movie that actually really crossed in with the TV show. The show was rough. It was tough. And I was watching because I was a fan, but I can see how a lot of people were like, it wasn't really my thing. But then as soon as it crossed over with the movie, man, it got a lot of people excited. It got me more excited about it. Man, I loved it. I really enjoyed it. It's funny, I still haven't finished that. I still need to go back and I got like 3 episodes of the last season. I still haven't finished it. It's awful.
And then speaking of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. too, it's like even the fact that it's called back to in WandaVision.
Right.
Which was, I did not see that coming.
Yeah.
I'm like, wow.
Yeah.
You really had to watch Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Right. It's like, there's so many intertwined things. And I think the Marvel universe, cinematic, big screen, little screen, they do a good job of making those things very exciting for this guy, right? But you don't lose anything if you're not this guy. If you've never seen anything, it just, no big deal.
All those extra tidbits that they're just tossing to us and be like, hey, nudge, nudge, look at this character or look at this object.
They made sure to make sure that you didn't have to be. How many times do you go watch a movie and you don't know anything about the comic book? I think anime is a lot like this. If when they come out with a new, so many movies expect you to have a background in it, to know about it, that you're a fan. And I'm a fan of movies. So like I'll just go watch movies. I'll just watch a TV show. Now, in this case, I was a fan. So it's like every movie I went to, I spent most of it explaining to my wife what was going on. And I was like, oh, well, this person, you're right. But it's and there was a lot of that. There was, man, I'd go with buddies. It was the same way. I'd take a buddy like, oh, who's that? And I'm like, oh, dude, you're not gonna believe this, And it's like, we go through the whole thing. And it wasn't just you there, missus. It was a lot of people because I'm familiar. But it would be like taking me to an anime movie or anything, something that Last Airbender. There's a good one. Like, I know nothing about the universe. Yeah. I'm a nerd. That's okay though. I know nothing about the universe, but they made sure to set up all the characters. The casting was phenomenal. Like Robert Downey Jr. as Tony Stark. I mean, come on, you know, like it's crazy. And I'll be honest with you, Chris Evans, I didn't like Chris Evans at first because Chris Evans was already the Human Torch, right? I'm like, what are you doing here? But he did all right. Yeah, he did good. He did good.
We for future things with the whole multiverse looming, we better see Human Torch meet.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Like at some point, they're getting together, and that's going to be really weird. You know? like, for people that have been keeping up, it's going to be like, you know, it's going to be quite a camera trick, I tell you. But it's like, I think that they did a very good job of establishing each character. I'll tell you, the one character that didn't get their justice was Hulk. I think the Hulk movies at first were rough. Who Eric Bana did the first, and I thought Eric Bana was going to make a really great Hulk, and it just everybody didn't love him, you know. I guess, and that's a shame because I like Eric Bana in most things. You know, I was a big fan.
That almost fits with the odd stuff like Ed Rabova, how I see you're saying about the original MCU universe that took place during the 70s and 80s.
Yeah, right.
That was an interesting an interesting time for Marvel.
Yeah, right. They do crazy stuff. Draco, you didn't like the live action movie with Last Airbender? See, I wouldn't know anything about it. Deadpool meets Spider-Man, that'll be awesome. I mean, dude, Deadpool's another one. So the fact that and it's almost comical, you know, they cleaned up the Deadpool from Origins, right? You know, it's kind of weird, but like, even think about that, you know, the X-Men movies were part of this, you know, and the first 3 X-Men movies, I loved them. I thought they were great. I enjoyed them. The casting was good. Everything. I loved it. It was so good. And then it sort of went off the rails, but you know what? I blame a lot of that on licensing. I blame a ton of that on licensing. And it's just another instance where
you can't use this.
Exactly. And so now studios are having to get creative and come up with these weird ways to this and that. And it's like, it's a shame. It really is. It's just, it's tough. But dude, as far as like where we are today, so like, you know, we've already discussed, we're not doing any spoilers or anything like that, of course, but you know, seeing how you got to, exactly. I think after the third one, they got kind of weird, you know, and you had to, the Wolverine movies that they put out, you had to have background knowledge in Wolverine. What was the last one where he went to Japan and can't think of the movie. Oh my gosh, it was Origins, and then
that was the Wolverine, I believe.
The Wolverine, yes, it was just the Wolverine. Yeah, and then Logan later, another perfect example.
Yes. You
can't go sit down and watch Logan and be like, oh, I know exactly this totally makes sense. Dude, you're going to go in there and be like, what the heck happened? Like, my man was in Japan fighting robots, and now he's old. Yeah, right? almost messed up. Yeah. But it's like
a crazy Professor X.
Yeah, right. And Professor X is just cuckoo for Cocoa Puff. What is happening? Like, you cannot go to see Logan. You cannot go see the Wolverine without having a decent knowledge of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Made sure you never need that. You could go sit down and enjoy a movie. Or my wife would say you could tolerate it for a few hours while your husband geeked out about it. You know, so you could do that at least. So it's, Logan was the same way. And dude, I blame licensing. I do. I think that when studios start telling other studios, Spider-Man should have been in the movies much sooner, you know? Right. And it's a shame that it was so late in the storyline. And for anyone that cares, the movies that you see don't follow the comic books. The outcomes were pretty much the same, but it doesn't follow exactly along the lines. And as a huge comic book fan, I'm okay with it. I'm totally fine with it doing its own thing, you know?
Exactly. It's enjoyable to see a different twist on those events. But yeah, I mean, you know, you figure starting all the way, he was one of the first Avengers.
Exactly,
You're right.
Exactly, right. And it's just, it's a shame. It's so bad.
But at the same time, it's like I almost feel like that might have been a blessing because we wouldn't be in the type of story scenario we are now
That's true.
had they already used up Spider-Man.
Yeah. Which Spider-Man would it have been? Would that have still been Tobey Maguire Spider-Man? Or
I think it would have been Andrew Garfield.
Andrew Garfield?
By the
Yeah,
Avengers time,
that'd been about that time frame. So, you know, it's another Sony thing where with the Spider-Mans, dude, how many times? Okay, so the Tobey Maguire Spider-Mans, I feel like they played together well. They did good, right? The first three X-Men played together, did great. They did a good job of establishing what was going on for someone that doesn't understand, doesn't know the backstory. And then you start changing it up and you do these other Spider-Mans, and it's like, dude, unless you are a comic book fan or a Spider-Man fan, you don't know what's going on. You're like, well, how does this fit in with, like, oh my god, like I don't get it. And yeah, it's Sony didn't do a good job of that. And sorry to say it, but
yeah, that's why Spider-Man got rebooted so often.
Right.
So many times in that span.
God, like which Spider-Man is this again? You know, like. But it's so, whereas a lot of people don't like Disney, I am very, very happy that everything's falling under something, right? And I feel like from what we've seen so far, Disney they're doing a good job of letting them be them. Let Marvel do its thing, like right. You know, keep making us money. The Mouse Empire is pleased to like bring me your homage, you know, right? Like so it's fine. But right. Oh yeah, back like how you were saying about Logan. Yeah, Logan was a phenomenal movie. Yeah, I loved it.
It's just that the payoff of that movie was if you had some more previous knowledge.
Yeah, absolutely.
Going into it.
Absolutely. Yeah, and that's so yeah, Draco, 100%. Spider-Man. So like us as comic book people know that. Well, this is Amazing Spider-Man, so it's different. It's just a different storyline. Trying to explain that to my wife is very difficult, who I want to go watch a movie with, and she's like, wait, no, remember this? And I was like, okay, you got to forget all that. Like, how many times have and she's still here, how many times have I was like, okay, yeah, you got to forget all that. This is totally different. Even though it's the same characters, it's the same setting, it's the same general principle, but it's different. It's totally different now. And it's like, that's a frustrating thing to have to explain. And the fact that you never really had to do that with the Avengers movies was awesome. I think they did a really good job of it.
Absolutely.
I think they continue to do that with the TV. So, you know, we had phase 1, you know, we had Infinity War, right? And that took you all the way up to Thanos and, you know, their battle that they had with Thanos and then, you know, at a point, which these aren't really spoilers, but you know,
one of the last things, I mean, before Infinity War and stuff, the licensing issue, that was another example with Wanda and Pietro.
Right. Yeah,
those are Magneto's kids.
And right, hilarious. And it's funny how and he's alive in X-Men, right?
Right.
But he's dead in Avengers.
Right.
And I think in WandaVision, that was their way of just sticking it to him by bringing Evan Peters in, right? And it was so perfect. It was like, wait, and I think, was it Vision or somebody at one point said, like, are you supposed to be here? Somebody said, like, so it was so good. It was like, okay, all right, yeah. It's like, it's good. But yeah, it's like, when you don't bring everyone in, and I would love to sit down and talk to some of the Marvel people and see did they think about this in the beginning when the first Tony Stark. I saw one of your chatters said something too. The original Tony Stark movie, 100%, it was on point. Like as a comic book fan, I liked it. I wonder if they were thinking at that time, you know, it'd be kind of cool to launch this universe, you know, like it would be, you know, like I wonder how far forward they were thinking with that, you know, maybe even to the first Avengers or I don't know, but to get all these big name A-list actors together and actresses is amazing. Like that in itself is just so cool. And then to have an Avengers movie, especially the later ones, getting them each enough screen time and enough, you know, to suit their, man, dude, so good. so good. And you know, little off, but Paramount tried to do that with the Monsters series, like with the Mummy, and that would have been so awesome. Like that would have been so good to see that universe develop and evolve, and you know,
kind of like how they're doing with the Godzilla, Kong, and the monsters.
Right, bringing them all together. Yep, absolutely. Yeah, Iron Man 3 was rough. The Mandarin, Iron Man 3. I had a lot of issues with Iron Man 3 too. I did not like Iron Man 3. I liked Iron Man 3. I didn't like Iron Man 3. The comic book side of me hated Iron Man 3, but Iron Man 3 was not the best. Not the best at all. But it was just, it kind of and I don't even know if it was necessary, other than I think somebody contractually had 3 movies, so you know, but Iron Man 3 wasn't that's a good call, Drac. It wasn't great, but I think that now, so we're to this point now. How do you follow that up, right? Okay, so you've just had this amazing, what is it, 22 movies, I think, in phase 1. I think it was 22.
Yeah. Well, that wasn't even,
22 movies. I think it was 22 movies. And shows and stuff too.
That was the first three phases or whatever, wasn't it?
Oh, yeah, right. Yeah. So
because the Avengers, I believe, were
so
the
I'll call it the Infinity Gauntlet, right?
The Infinity Gauntlet,
right.
Was
So how do you follow that up? I didn't see. I think the last movie.
Films.
Yeah, 23.
I just checked. Yeah, 23
I
films.
think the last movie did an amazing job of putting several of the prime stories to bed. Iron Man there will be no more Iron Man movies. Captain America, there's not going to be more Captain America movies, right? And I'm not saying that that's a good or a bad thing or whatever, but they took a lot of the core Avengers and we're done with those, right? We're putting them away, right? So now, moving forward from that, I don't think it's possible to recreate what you did. You're not going to strike gold again like you did with the Infinity Saga. That's just my opinion. I don't think you're going to have the casting and I don't think so, right? However, what it seems like they've done to bridge the gap between then and now is they've moved to these TV series. They've moved to these TV shows. They've moved to, exactly, Drac, 100%. They've moved to this other format, streaming, right? Disney Plus, which I you know, COVID, man, you know, it happening when it did, these series coming out when they did.
The timing of all this was perfect.
Yeah, it was really, really perfect. It was absolutely perfect. Exactly, Drac. You have gone through your prime Marvel. Like the prime cuts of Marvel are, you know, they've been out there. Their stories have been told. Their stories were great, and we've moved on. You know, so I'm sorry. I do not want to watch a Falcon movie. I didn't want to read a Falcon comic book. You know, or like Falcon was a side character. You know, and even the Black Widow movie that's coming out. Do I need it? You know,
I think what really gets me with the Black Widow movie too is the fact that it's coming out. Spoilers for Endgame, but it's coming out post-mortem.
Right, exactly. It's like a flashback. The whole movie's like a flashback. And so you can maybe do some neat cinematic tricks with that, but it's just like, we should have done this. We should have done this already.
Right.
You know?
It should have been, to be honest, it should have been either right before Infinity War. Maybe.
Right. Yeah. 100%.
So that way you got super invested in that character.
Exactly. It would have been a good time for it. That's perfect. Yeah. I feel like too, I hope they don't go this way, but
hey, Randict.
If we move into a new phase, a new series. Now, I think Guardians of the Galaxy with Thor is going to be great. Very much looking forward to that. Going to be awesome. We're going to be really good. Yeah. But I think if we move into something, I don't want to see characters come back as a cameo to drive the movie. You know, I don't want to see Chris Evans show up in his midlife. You know, like I just don't want to see that. you know. Robert Downey Jr., I don't need to see him again, you know. And they're going to, you know, I feel like there's gonna be some, they'll work it in.
I think we'll see that later on.
Yeah, I think as things start to trickle down,
when we hit the multiverse era.
Right. And so and I'm not saying I'm not gonna like it or I'm not gonna watch it, but I'm like, you know.
But at the same time, I don't know, the multiverse era, when that hits in 2022,
yeah,
that could very well be the introduction of the new versions of those characters.
Right, that's true.
That's
true.
Actors.
Yep, you could have new actors. You could go a whole way, and but I don't know how well that'd be received by people that aren't, because again, Marvel needs to do a good job of making the non-smart comic book people know that, understand that, like it, you know. And I think if someone other than Robert Downey Jr. comes out of Iron Man armor, people are gonna be upset. People are gonna like, he nailed that role. Like he was Tony Stark, you know. 100%. Like it was just so good. And I feel like if they try to do that, it's not gonna go well. Like sometimes you should just let it be, you know.
Yeah, absolutely.
But
yeah, I mean, yeah, you figure with these shows though, I mean, like you said, Disney Plus, WandaVision, I gotta admit, going into WandaVision, I was thinking, okay, this is going to be just something entertaining.
Yeah, right.
Didn't really expect much from it.
Right.
But wow, that's all I could say after it was over.
Yeah, I didn't think. I thought it was going to be a fun. Yeah, Draka, that is true. Yeah, I think Morgan will be involved for sure, 100%, just like in the comics. Yeah. So WandaVision for me, I liked it. Again, I like everything, right? But I didn't realize it was going to be an origin story. That's a good way to put it. I didn't realize that it was like, wow, like seeing it evolve the way it did. It was done really well. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was just going to be kind of a fun, you know, obviously not all fun. It's Marvel, you know, it's kind of superhero stuff, but it really set up some things, you know, in the future, and it gives them a lot of directions they could go. And it was good. It was done really well, I think.
Yeah, because you kind of forget that going into WandaVision, because we've seen her, you know, a few times already in films, and she's used her powers and whatnot. You kind of forget she's only ever been acknowledged as Wanda
Maximoff. That's right.
Yes.
They never called her by her comic book name, you know.
Yeah. So yeah, without getting into spoilers, it's like, yeah, that's where it's like you actually got the character numerous appearances, and then they're like, oh, and then here's an origin story.
Right.
And it worked.
Yeah, it did. It worked really well.
Doing backwards.
I absolutely love the movement right now for his last name's Wu. Who he was agent, I forget his name in the show.
I know who it is. I know
him and Darcy should team up like an X-Files dude, that would be so awesome. I would love that show. Yeah, like an X-Files Marvel Universe style type. That would be amazing. Like, God, I forget his name, but agent, anyways, he was an FBI agent, and it was he did a good job. It was good. And Darcy was just enough. I liked it. I liked Darcy in the show too. That was cool.
Yeah.
So the other show that's out now, the last episode is on Disney Plus right now, Falcon and Winter Soldier. How do you feel about Falcon and Winter Soldier?
I kind of have mixed feelings.
Yeah.
To be really honest, I kind of have mixed feelings about it, because I'm not sure
Hey, Hot Rod, how's it going? Welcome.
I'm not sure how much I agree with some of the things that the two lead characters choose to do.
Sure.
Like the stances they're taking on things, almost some of the stuff almost felt uncharacteristic.
Right.
For their role.
Yeah.
But
yeah, I like that. Yeah.
But I do really enjoy the fact that it's, I mean, and this isn't really a spoiler because the trailers, you know, give you the time frame that this is a post-blip world.
Right.
Like where people are just now trying to get back to their lives.
WandaVision
that 5 years.
Yeah. WandaVision gave a good little glimpse of, you know, imagine the world lost half of its people. Half our population was gone. And then we figured out how to get through that for 5 years, and then everyone came back. And all of a sudden
Right.
you've got, you know, billions of people showing up, and it does a good job of showing you some of the, you know, it's not all lollipops and sunshine. You know, it's not
Exactly.
like, yeah, you know, obviously if you lost family or something, getting family back is amazing. It's great. And that's what the movie's focused on. Is like everybody had that someone that they got back, and it was so happy and it was so good. And then, you know, and then they fought this huge war in Jersey, right? Weren't they they were at the New Avengers facility in Jersey? So yeah,
Yeah.
huge war in Jersey, which I think after the war it still looked like Jersey. So, you know, whatever.
Was it,
But
was it Jersey or was it up? I thought it was upstate New York.
I think it was Jersey. I'm pretty sure New Avengers
Okay.
facility was in Jersey. We'll see. Maybe chat can correct me. Maybe I'm wrong. You're testing
Yeah,
my
'cause actually,
you're testing my knowledge.
I gotta
Yeah.
admit, geography, not my strong suit.
Oh, that's funny. Yeah, I'm pretty sure the New Avengers facility, which is where they were, was in Jersey. In fact, I think it was at the same site where Captain America did his basic training, like where he did all his. I think.
Okay.
But that's a stretch. I'm pretty sure it was Jersey, but we'll see.
Okay.
We'll see. If I'm wrong, chat, you call me out. You let me know.
But yeah, with the you figure them showing some of the real world, like, well, in the universe, the real world repercussions of you getting dropped back into life,
Right.
and all the hardships that are caused by it.
Yep.
And
I
they handled that well.
I think I like their banter. I like the two characters' banter. I like them back and forth.
I do like the temporary.
Oh yeah.
I actually I despised it first, but
yeah.
now I'm like, he's very interesting character.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Very
Like
interesting.
I was, yeah, exactly, 100%.
And Marvel does such a good job to make you actually understand
exactly
people's motives and their feelings of why they're doing what they do.
Marvel doesn't have a ton of supervillains that are just supervillains to be supervillains, right? Dr. Octopus, like all most of their villain stories, and Stan Lee was a genius at this. Their backstories were so tragic most of the time. You know, it was a set of conditions that just they could go no other way but to, you know. And I think that falls into like the early comic book code, and how, you know, you did need bad guys to make a good story, but bad guys didn't have to be evil. You know, they didn't have to be just pure. Even Thanos, right? Thanos did what he did because he thought it was helping the galaxy, right?
From his perspective, he was noble.
Right. He did the best thing ever to and all the evil that he had to do to get there was for a good cause. So, you know, so it's Marvel does a good job of that. Like even you always, no matter how much you don't like a villain, you can understand them, their perspective, their, you know.
Right.
And Marvel does a good job of that, I think, in their comics, and that'll be a topic for another week. The whole Marvel versus DC thing, why DC's just horrible at making movies, but
and they're and without getting into it, there's such good content and material there.
Yep.
It's just not. Yeah,
and they've wasted so much. It's awful, the worst. But yeah, no, I think that the shows that they're doing now, that Disney Plus Marvel Studios is doing, the shows are doing a really good job of giving us something to hold us over until the next series of movies, you know, and to bridge that gap. Yeah, Hot Rod, I'll say, you know, DC, one thing that DC's really good at, and I'm not going to stick on DC too long because that'll be a topic for another week. Their animated stuff is superb. They have some of the best animated movies and shows. Like, I absolutely love the DC universes. I wish that transferred to the movies, to the live action movies, but So shows I'm looking forward. So I'll say for me, Falcon and Winter Soldier, I am enjoying it. There's some I'm seeing a lot of, and I'm not gonna get deep into this, and so I please don't, like chat don't. There's a lot of undertones that I wish weren't in the show. There's a lot of real world stuff.
You picked up on that too.
100%. And I'm like, we get it.
I thought it was a little heavy-handed.
Yeah. So
at points.
I watch TV for the same reason I watch video games. It's because I want to get lost in a universe, and I want to forget about the problems of our world, and I want to,
escape.
And 100%. Like I want the fantasy. I want the and when you start mixing in some true 100% real world problems and issues, it's a downer for me, And so I'm not saying it's right or wrong or indifferent. It's just, I wish they wouldn't do that so much. However, the banter between Falcon and Winter Soldier, even from Civil War, when they were sitting in the car while he was getting the shield, everything, dude, from that moment, I loved that scene. Like, will you move your seat up? No. It's like, oh, this is so good. I love it, and I'm actually excited. I'm probably gonna watch the last episode tonight that came out today. So I'm looking forward to that.
I don't know. I think my missus is going to be asleep.
Yeah,
by that time.
You're not going to make it.
Because that's what I love is like she's big into the Marvel stuff.
Yeah, yeah, that's mine too. We watched just about everything together, and then some of them I have to drag her through, but most of them she really liked WandaVision. She enjoyed it. And I think she's enjoying Falcon and Winter Soldier too. I'll tell you what she's looking forward to is Loki, and I'm looking forward to Loki too. Loki is one of my favorite villains, man. He is deep and complex, and I love it. I'm really stoked, and I'm so glad that they're taking it from. I'm so glad they're taking it from where he got the Tesseract, by mistake. Wasn't supposed to, kind of broke the timeline, and that's all I'm gonna say because I don't want to. But oh man, so good.
The TVA. Involved in the TVA,
exactly. Yep, exactly. It's gonna be so good
when they first introduced that, and I'm just like, oh man, we're gonna go some time travel here.
Right. All right. I'm excited. It's gonna be awesome. Yeah. Oh yeah. No. Yeah. Bucky's story is sad. It's tough to think about. That's another kind of real world thing, dude. He was brainwashed by Hydra. Like he was used as a bad guy. Did so many bad things, and he's having to deal with that. And that's another kind of deep. He's a good actor. And it does turn out. We were talking last week about live action. He was the one that they thought could play a young Luke Skywalker. By the way,
because I remember you said that, and on the last episode we watched last weekend, I was paying attention, and I'm like, I could definitely see him play.
See it for sure.
I would fully accept that.
As a young Luke. Yeah, Hot Rod, it's tough, man. It's tough to do it. Fallout New Vegas, nice. It's politics is tough. It's everybody's got an opinion, and it's just the way it goes for sure. Go ahead. Sorry.
Oh no. Go ahead.
But no, Loki. Oh, dude, Loki. I am looking forward to that, and I'm really, like I said, the Thor and the Guardians of the Galaxy. That's gonna be awesome too.
Yeah,
that'll be good.
So here on the notes, the that list, that is the 2021. Those are the order that they're coming out.
Oh, very cool.
So Thor and Guardians of the Galaxy is not till 2022.
Right. That'll be a while.
And same with Doctor Strange even.
Interesting.
But yeah, these are what we have according to the current dates. These are what we have to look forward to all the way to the end of the year.
Interesting.
So Loki, of course, and we've seen trailers for that, which that just looks like it's gonna be so fun.
Oh yeah.
But then they jump back to the movie screens with Black Widow.
Right.
But like we were saying, it's like it feels like that should have been part of the last phase.
Yeah.
I don't know. But you know what? I've been surprised before.
Sure. No, and I mean I'll watch it. I'll probably enjoy it. But I'll
still watch it, yeah. But I mean, as far as tying into things, who knows what else it's going to inject into this phase.
Right, for sure.
Even though it technically takes place in the past.
Right.
It's going to bring something up.
Right.
But as far as things taking place in the past too, Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings.
Right. Be interesting. kind of a
Ten
out
Rings
of
was back all the way in
right,
Iron Man.
right. So it's like it'll be very interesting to see because they'll have to do a little bit more tie-in for the novice viewer, I think, on
Right.
that. But it'll be very interesting. Very
Have you
interesting.
seen the trailer for it yet?
No, I haven't actually.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
Yeah.
check it out. All right,
It looks incredibly unique for Marvel.
nice,
Like
nice.
if you did not know, that was a Marvel property,
Yeah.
you probably wouldn't have thought it was a Marvel movie.
Ah, interesting. Excellent.
Yeah.
Excellent.
It definitely has a whole different vibe.
Nice.
I
Nice.
kind of wish we could play trailers.
Yeah,
but
right, right.
I'm sure Twitch would not be happy
Yeah,
with
they'd
us.
probably choke us out for it. Licensing.
Exactly. Licensing. Even though we're promoting your movie.
Yeah,
with
right, right. We're
the
just trying to help
public
you
content.
out, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, we're not playing clips of the movie. We're playing
Ugh.
exactly what you put the public. But,
Yeah, right. Ugh.
but if you're a Marvel fan and you guys have anybody here in chat hasn't seen the trailer yet, check out that trailer.
Right.
It looks interesting.
Right. Oh yeah.
But I mean, you figure these are ones we don't really know much
Yeah.
about as far as the movies go.
Sure.
Because then you have the Eternals.
Yeah, Eternals. I didn't keep up with Eternals too much, so that'll be new for me too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, pretty much the only thing I know is Salma Hayek's in it.
Right.
Just because I see it in the news.
Yeah, because Salma Hayek. So
yeah, I actually don't. I'll admit I don't know much about the Eternals.
yeah.
Even comic book wise.
Same here. Yeah, not much at all.
Yeah, kind of how. Actually, it's kind of where I was with Guardians of the Galaxy back when that came out.
Yeah.
I didn't really know the Guardians.
I had followed a few comic books from their interaction in the Infinity Gauntlet saga, because the daughters of Thanos, big part of So, right. In fact, very different too in the comic books, how that all wraps up. So I highly recommend. Marvel does digital comic books. Read the comic books, and I hate reading. I think reading's dumb, but read the comic books. They're awesome. Right? Yeah. No. Yeah. And then after Eternals, it'll be Spider-Man.
Well. These are the cinematics because the three after they don't have hard dates yet. They just say late 2021.
Oh, I got you.
So technically, those other series could be sprinkled in around those movies.
Right.
But yeah, Spider-Man No Way Home. That'll be supposed to be our final Marvel cinematic movie for 2021.
Right.
And yeah,
that'll be pretty good. I enjoyed the last one. I think it was good.
Mm-hmm.
It's interesting seeing the character crossover from, taking it from like Tony Stark's, and it was good.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. Yeah, I think Tom Holland, he's good.
Yeah,
he's good as Spider-Man. I like him as Spider-Man.
Yeah, same. Yep, just
enough. My favorite thing about the Spider-Man movies, this current gen of them, is the fact they did not force an origin story again.
Yeah, right. We seen it. Okay,
right.
Uncle Ben dies. I get it.
Exactly.
I get it. It's a shame.
Oh, you got bit by a spider?
Yeah,
really?
Right. He calls himself Spider-Man because he got bit by a spider.
Yep.
We're good. Let's move on. Yeah. No, that was good. I loved Tony Stark with Aunt May too, and Hottie.
Oh yeah.
That was good. That was good.
Yep. But then you have the other series that don't have a hard date yet for 2021, but the What If series.
I'm really looking forward to that. That's going to be pretty cool.
And that'll be an animated series.
Yeah, yep. Be their dive into animation. Yeah, that could be fun. That could be fun.
Yeah, the concepts of the stories. I mean, yeah. Because what was one of them? It's like they even show what if Captain America was in Hydra.
Right. What if he was Captain Hydra, and then there was another one where Tony or somebody else got the super soldier serum. Was it Howard Stark maybe, or somebody else got? Oh no, Captain Britain. Captain Britain. Oh yeah, right. And then it's gonna be awesome. It's gonna be really neat. I think that's gonna be good. Oh, Hot Rod, dude. So I'll tell you. I went back and watched some Civil War with the wife because she had questions about when like stuff from Falcon Winter Soldier, and so we went back and watched it. Civil War is truly a sad movie. It really is a tragedy, like the way they fell apart. And I think their on-screen depiction of it was really good, showing, you know, just how, you know, at least decent friends, you know, fell apart and were torn apart. And you're right, you know, it's like the they call it the Sokovia Accords in the movies. I forget what they call it in the comics. It wasn't Sokovia,
No.
Accords, but it was superhuman, anyways, registration act. But yeah,
Yeah,
no,
yeah.
I absolutely loved. Yeah, right. Yeah, I know. I liked Civil War. Civil War was a good tragedy. It was a good downer movie. Like, you saw the things where it was rough, man. It was for sure.
Oh yeah.
um but no, so then the Hawkeye series.
Yeah, Hawkeye with him training up, played by Haley
Right,
Steinfeld.
right. Yeah, exactly. So when I first heard the Hawkeye series, I don't need a Hawkeye origin story. I don't need to know anything more about Hawkeye. Now, the next Hawkeye, his daughter, like, getting little glimpses of that, that's kind of cool. That's pretty
Yeah.
neat. Like, that has merit,
Yeah,
because
Kate Bishop.
she will
Yeah.
play into, I think she will play into the next universe, next phase. I think we'll see her, you know, and I think that's good. I will say, you know, that's one thing that in Endgame, when Hawkeye became Ronin, they didn't
Right.
really get into that, you know. And so, as a comic book nerd, I was like, I saw what was going on, I knew what was going on. Like, I seen a lot of the, you didn't have to know, like, obviously he had pain from his loss, you know, but it helped, being a comic book nerd, to know what he was doing, where he was going, why he was doing it, what he'd been up to, you know, like knowing the character of Ronin, you know.
Right.
That was one of the times where Marvel sort of let the didn't really get into the nitty-gritty, and I'm okay with that. Hawkeye wasn't a character I needed.
Well, and you figure they also did the same with Captain America. He's basically Nomad.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
For a little while
Right.
there.
Yeah, exactly. And they didn't even really talk about it, but, you know, had the beard, had the, you know, the other shield, the Wakanda shield, and yeah, right.
Yeah, the no stars and stripes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep. For sure. But and then Miss Marvel, that'll be cool. That'll be pretty awesome. Yeah, I look forward to that one.
Yeah, and that'll be. Part of me feels like that was almost meant to come out earlier, like way earlier,
Yeah.
especially because I thought they, to be honest, I thought they were going to try springboard it with the game.
Yeah. Right.
Since Ms. Marvel is your main character.
Yeah. Exactly. Yep.
In the story of the Avengers game that I have yet to play.
Right. I know. I really need to get into that. Big Marvel
Ms.
fan.
Marvel,
Haven't played the game.
Can't remember what is her name?
Yeah, I forgot. Jenny? No, yeah, is it Jenny? You're gonna make me Google Pixel.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm doing too.
Yeah. Okay, good. I'll let you Google it. I'll let you Google it.
Kamala Khan.
Kamala.
Isn't that it? She's Ms. Marvel.
Kamala
Yes,
Khan.
yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah,
I was thinking of somebody else. Kamala Khan.
Kamala or Kamala Khan.
Interesting.
Well, I mean, technically, that was what they did different.
Yeah.
Captain Marvel was technically Ms. Marvel first.
Right. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, there was some Captain Marvel.
Yes.
You know, right. I love that they worked that into the movie too, because, like, I had told my wife for months, I was like, you know, it's Marvel, right? And she looked at me like, no, nobody cares, right? You know, and being married is bliss. It's a magic. And then when Brie Larson was like, you know, it's Marvel, right? I was like, thank you. Like, whoop-de-doo, Basil. Yeah, I get it. Yeah, I know. Good to be married. Beautiful.
You know what? Just for doing that, that's a sound alert that you need.
Yeah, right. Basil. What does it all mean? You know? Yeah, good times. I hear that one a lot.
But yeah. We've got there's big Marvel stuff happening this year.
Yeah.
I mean, this is probably, I mean, with all these shows, this is probably their biggest biggest year as far as
for
content
sure,
goes.
for sure. Actual new developed content, and some of these TV shows, dude, they have the budget of movies. Like they have
Absolutely.
it's definitely we don't see a lot of distinguishment between them anymore, and they help that. I think they were the front runners in that. You know, like the crossover stuff is so cool to me. I love it. I really do.
Right. Yeah. But yeah. So I don't know. I think that brings us to our wrapping point for tonight.
100%. Yeah, we got some good stuff to look forward to. So, next week we could talk about some. Maybe we'll talk about how it ended, how Falcon Winter Soldier ended. We'll give away all the spoilers. We'll tell everyone. Oh, yeah. Guys, seriously, spoilers. Falcon dies. I'm sorry, it happens. I hate to tell you, I didn't want to spoil it, but you know. Mute if you don't want spoilers. Oh, it's too late. It's too late. No, so what plans you got this week for stream? Any good games this week you're playing?
This week, to be honest, we are gonna do some. I know we got some NES randoms lined up.
Nice.
We're gonna go through play some oddities from the NES era.
Sweet. Supercars. Try Supercars.
Yes, that is one that's going to be added to the list. Supercars.
Cool. Very cool. Excellent. That'll be good.
Yep. How about you? What's on your stream agenda for the week?
Let's see. I think I'm hoping we get back to Outriders. We started playing Outriders, and it's awesome. It's really, really good. I'm enjoying Outriders for sure.
Oh, nice.
And I think we're gonna get back to that. Maybe do a little bit of. I gotta hit up old Skeptic. Maybe do a little PUBG. We'll see what happens. But definitely some Outriders, and then I'm going to work on my capture setup because I'm definitely going to do some CDI, right? Some of this obscure
you have to do
stuff.
some CDI.
I want to play some Fox Hunt too. I gotta play some Fox Hunt. That'll make for some fun videos. So that'll be good. Hot Rod, no way, you're never off topic, man. That's I love it. And the DC stuff, like it'll be interesting talking about DC in the future because I don't know a ton about DC. I got really involved in DC with like Death of Superman and stuff like that, so I can talk about stuff like that. But yeah, that'll be an interesting talk for one of these weeks coming up too. So
yep.
I will say on that.
I guess for your homework, did you watch the Snyder Cut?
I did.
Okay.
I did.
Okay, so you'll be prepared for that discussion.
Yeah, absolutely, 100%. Yeah, that'll be a good one. Yeah, that'll be good because it was good. I liked it. I liked it. It was long.
Oh yeah.
I've got some gripes. I've got some gripes on the DC cinematic universe. And I think I think Wonder Woman saved them, but I don't know if it was enough. I don't know. Gal Gadot is awesome. Like Wonder Woman, I like the Wonder Woman stuff, but the missus likes the Wonder Woman stuff. But I will say too, so anybody's watching, so both of our Discords, I'm gonna go ahead and smash the whole Discord button now. We both have sections in our Discords where we are looking for topics for our weekly chat. So we're gonna do this every Friday, and trust us, you do not want us to run out of topics because it's gonna get weird. I'm gonna start doing tricks with my fingers. I'm gonna like pull my thumb off. It's gonna get weird. It's just gonna get bad.
It'll turn into I don't know how to juggle, but we're gonna learn.
Yeah, we're gonna figure it out. Yeah,
you should be like, we're gonna learn to juggle.
Right. Here we go. Watch this. Nobody wants to see that. I'll get Mario 64 carts. We'll juggle with those. It'll be good. But we would love for right. Let them on fire. That's right. We burning them. We know that.
Yep.
But we would absolutely love to come in there and so I think in mine it's called like VOD topics or something like that. So you'll see it in there and please, anything under the sun, pop culture, video game, movie, TV show related, absolutely try.
Weekly VODCAST topics.
Weekly VODCAST topics.
I named it the same, so that way it is the same.
All right, good man. Look at Pixel. God, he's so good at this. This guy, big brain, big brain. So yes, absolutely, 100%. Why Jar Jar was the best Star Wars character? Someone time out Mrs. 24, please. Thank you. That would be great. If you've got something you think you like, throw it in there. Also, maybe not next week, but very soon, where we want to start having guests. We want to start having guests on stream. So if it's something you'd like to do, if you don't mind being on camera or even just audio, and want to come in and talk about some stuff, we'd love to have you. That'd be really cool to mix it
Absolutely.
up and do some things. I've got like some I've got some buddies I hope locally I can get. I love my guy in the arcade to come in and talk about arcade stuff, and I know we know other streamers and stuff like that. And that's another thing too. We haven't really talked about streaming, but we both do stream throughout the week, and we've got our own setups and our own ways of capture and display and communities and things like that. So if you've got questions about streaming or anything like that, you know, we'd love to get into it. So anything
Absolutely.
you want, really. And it's fun because you guys are here. You know, it's fun to have conversations with chat and see you chip in. Even though if you want to talk about DC and we're talking about Marvel, that's okay. It's all right, Hot Rod. It's good though. It would be boring if it was just me and Pixel talking, because trust me, we'd probably be playing a video game instead of just talking. So it's, you guys are what makes it fun. So we will 100% get to the point where we're going to upload these podcasts, hopefully upload them as YouTube videos. Oh, good.
You can find them on my YouTube channel.
Perfect. Okay, good. Excellent. Yeah, I'm behind because I went on vacation.
I opened the YouTube channel just to start posting these.
Excellent.
And now I know I kind of want to make some other content.
That's awesome. That's cool.
Something
That's good.
In the future.
Good. I got to go find your YouTube channel now. That's awesome. Yeah. And I'll be doing the same. So that's great. That's awesome. And yeah, and so yeah, there is a link to Pixel's channel. Now, you'll notice too, we've got a lot of the same things going on, but we still kind of have our own flair on everything too. So absolutely go check it out.
You can see, you can see the same content on both of our channels,
right?
As far as the chats, the cameras, but yeah, we definitely put our own spin on it.
Yeah, got our own flair going. It's good. Yep. But no, it was a good time. This was a great chat. I had a really good time this week. This was fun. It was my only stream of the week, and I had a great time. It was perfect.
Okay. Oh, very good. Good to hear. So we'll both be, well, what, you don't stream Saturday or Sunday?
Yeah, I'll be back Monday. Monday will be my first stream, and I don't know what we're doing yet. Not a clue. So prepared as usual, right?
Well, sometimes that's fun though. It's like, because then you're not setting up that schedule of, I'm going to play this on this day,
right?
Because
right.
when you get to that day, you're kind of like, do I really want to play this today?
I kind of want to do something else. When Bagoom's out of town, when he gets back, Guns, Gore, and Cannoli too.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
we need to do that.
Yeah, that'll be good. Be a fun one.
I'm feeling we need to get a community breakfast day together.
Oh yeah, that'd be awesome. Yeah, get as many in as we can.
Doesn't necessarily even have to be on stream.
Sure.
But just a community breakfast.
Right. Yep. Go smash some cars around. I'm down. I'm ready. Yep. It's good. It's the only race game I'm good at, when I run into other people.
Hey, it's fun though.
It's really great. Fun. It is good. Well, thanks a lot, man. Yeah. Thanks everybody for being here. Appreciate it. Had a great time, and we'll see you guys back here. We're streaming all next week, but our next podcast will be next Friday, so 7 Eastern. Come back and see what it's all about. So.